Chapter 588. I think that if Officer Tang's condition is so serious that he's going to throw up after eating, then this incident must have hurt him a lot. So, if you're just trying to find out more about this incident, then I think you should stop. No one likes to be paid attention to like this, Mu Chi-Chi said to Feng Shanshan. Besides, although you don't feel it yourself, after spending so much time with those rich kids, you have the potential to play tricks on others. Feng Shanshan pushed Mu Chi-Chi away and glared at her. You don't understand me. I don't understand you. Since you care about Officer Tang, why are you beating around the bush? That's because you don't know how dangerous he is. Feng Shanshan thought to herself. Forget it. The exam is in 2 or 3 days. I must win against you. As she said that, Feng Shanshan leaned on Mu Chi-Chi. However, Mu Chi-Chi pushed her away. It hurts. Did you really go yesterday? Of course. Mu Chi-Chi sighed. I feel like I was run over today. I can't even stand up. I thought you would just act coquettishly. Mu Chi-Chi did not answer Feng Shanshan's question. Because she knew that no one would understand how serious she was when it came to Xingxiao. Feng Shanshan did not ask further. When it came to relationships, the two of them had never been the same. We are opponents. Don't hang on to me so easily. Mu Chi-Chi reminded Feng Shanshan. Look at the surprised faces of others. If Mu Chi-Chi was said to be an iceberg genius in school, Feng Shanshan was another extreme. It was a well-known fact that they did not get along. Nobody knew what happened between them in the past 6 months. They were supposed to be the strongest opponents. Why did they shake hands now? Then I'll hang up when I go to the lab tonight. At noon, the hospital was very quiet. Gu Xiling was accompanying Grandpa Xing in the hospital. The butler and Hu Ran happened to bring lunch to the hospital. Usually, the butler and Grandpa Xing were inseparable. It was not easy to find a chance to talk to the butler. After taking care of Grandpa Xing for lunch, the butler was cleaning up the tableware. However, the old man said that he wanted to eat the pastries made by the kitchen at home. The butler had always taken good care of him, so he promised him that he would go back and ask the chef to prepare. Anyway, Hu Ran had to take care of him in the afternoon, so he could leave. Seeing this, Gu Xiling immediately said to the old master, in the afternoon, Kai asked me to deliver something for him. Since third sister-in-law is here, I can leave without worry. Second sister-in-law, you're not the only one who knows how to take good care of Grandpa. Hu Ren rolled her eyes, as if she was worried about leaving Grandpa Xing to anyone else. I didn't mean anything else. Gu Xiling explained before packing her things. She waited for the butler to leave for a while before leaving. It was only when they reached Xing Mansion that Gu Xiling quickened her steps and stopped the butler. Butler, I have something to tell you. What does second young mistress want to say to me? Why didn't you say so when master was here just now? The butler asked. I don't mean any harm. I've heard about your son. I know a very good lawyer who might be able to help you. This is his business card. As long as you tell him that you're my friend, he will help you. The butler took the business card from Gu Xiling. His expression changed. Second young mistress, if you really want to help me, then I'll thank you. But if you have any ulterior motives, then I'm sorry, I can't accept your help. Butler, are you going to watch your son suffer? I'll take care of my family affairs. You don't have to worry about it, second young mistress. I'm in a hurry. Second young mistress, I won't accompany you anymore. Gu Xiling watched the butler walk away. She clenched her fists. She really did not expect that the old butler was so stubborn. His son was in such a crisis, but he still did nothing. Later, Gu Xiling told Xing Kai about it over the phone. That old thing is not sensible at all. What should we do now? We've already alerted the enemy. Don't worry. Although the butler might not accept it, he won't say anything. Shinkai knew the butler very well. But now, he's not willing to get close to us. That means he's refusing to cooperate with us. He doesn't need a lawyer, but it doesn't mean that his son doesn't need one. Just skip the butler and go to his son. I don't believe that the butler's heart is made of stone. He won't even help his own son when he's in danger. Gu Xiling thought that there was no other way. If I knew this earlier, I would have used force. Don't worry. The butler can't escape from us. Shinkai comforted Gu Xiling. We still have plenty of time. We still have a chance to get the butler. Don't be discouraged. However, they never thought that the butler was so old. He was even older than Grandpa Shing. How could he withstand their torment? But for the inheritance and status, they couldn't care less now. But why could the butler stay in the Shing family for so many years? Because in his heart, he knew very well that some things were unbearably dirty. Since Gu Xiling had taken the initiative to express her goodwill, how could he not know what the couple was planning? Xing Bowen had just become the CEO of Huang Yao. His foundation was not stable yet. If Xing Kai continued to stir up trouble behind the scenes, the Xing family might not be as glorious as when Xing Xiao was still around. But he couldn't tell Grandpa Xing. It was not because of anything else. He felt that Grandpa Xing couldn't take it anymore. Of course, he could still mention it to Xing Bowen. When the bell rang, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan went straight to the police station. Who would feel good when encountering such a headache-inducing case? Every time they went to the crime scene, they had to go through mountains and rivers. No one could stand it, let alone two delicate girls. The police officers who went to the crime scene 2 or 3 times were miserable. Their legs were trembling. I can basically conclude that the murderer did it on purpose. There are still a lot of things we don't know. It will take time to go up the mountain. It will also take time to come back and do the tests. By the time the results are out, the traces will have been erased. Tang Yen looked at the people in the police station sighing. He suggested, I'll go up the mountain and stay there. If there are any new discoveries, I'll inform you. Or, I'll take pictures of them with my phone. It might save some time. You're going up alone. The professor was a little worried. Although you're strong, what if the other party is a gang? Aren't you courting death if you go up alone? Then, add someone to go with me. I'll pack some equipment and go up with you, said the professor. If possible, we can do some experiments up there. Chapter 589. Had he never thought about who he would be afraid of? It was good to be alone. Do you want to follow him? Mu Qiqi could not help but lean on Feng Shanshan's shoulder. Look at your eyes. They are completely focused on Officer Tang. Is it that obvious? Feng Shanshan asked. Look at yourself in the mirror, Feng Shanshan. Do you know that your eyes are the same as mine? How is it the same as yours? I want to eat him up too. I see Xiao Xiao's eyes are the same until now. Mu Qiqi laughed. Actually, it's not bad if you follow him. Your relationship will definitely progress by leaps and bounds. No way. Do you believe it? If I say I want to follow him, he will stare at me and say that I am dragging the team down. Feng Shanshan knew her place, so she did not join in the fun. Although she really wanted to know what Tang Yen was thinking and what the story behind it was better for her not to add to the chaos at this time. Then go back and rest. The exam is coming soon, Mu Qiqi said. There were too few clues in the case now, and the two of them could not go up. If the professor followed them, he should be able to provide a lot of clues for the criminal investigation team. You go first. I will stay for a while. Feng Shanshan did not plan to leave for the time being. Mu Qiqi glanced at Feng Shanshan. In the end, she asked her seriously, he's a police officer and you're a forensic doctor. Everything can be positive. As long as you calm down and fall in love, Officer Tang won't be the second scumbag, right? You can be serious. Don't play around and miss your happiness. Who knew if Tang Yan would be the second scumbag? At least, his image in private was not positive at all. There are some things I can't tell you, Qiqi. You won't understand. Because your first love is Xing Xiao. You only have Xing Xiao as your man. Mu Qiqi lowered her head and thought for a few seconds. Then, she nodded. Maybe. After that, Mu Qiqi left the police station and got into the car that Su Che came to pick her up. When they got home, Mu Qiqi sat on the carpet without saying a word. Then, she put her head on Xing Xiao's lap and leaned against him. What's wrong? Xing Xiao lowered his head and asked. Continue reading your information. I'm just thinking about life. Mu Qiqi said in a deep voice, Xiao Xiao, what do you think would have happened to me if I hadn't met you? I don't know how many times I've been sold, Xing Xiao replied calmly. Mu Qiqi did not forget that Xing Xiao had dragged her out of the hotel. Oh, I'm such a lucky person. Mu Qiqi took a deep breath and continued lying on Xing Xiao's lap. Xing Xiao ignored her and subconsciously stroked her hair as if to comfort her silently. Mu Qiqi felt so comfortable that she closed her eyes and quickly fell asleep. When Mama Xing came to ask them to eat, Xing Xiao only made a shushing gesture at her. Asleep? Then carry her upstairs and come down for dinner, Mama Xing said softly. The whole family doted on the little one, so it was not an exaggeration to say that she was the group's favorite. Even so, Mu Qiqi did not cherish the love of others just because there were so many people who loved her. On the contrary, she cherished it even more. Because she knew how hard it was to get such love. Xing Xiao put down the information and carried Mu Qiqi horizontally. Then, he walked to their bedroom, thinking that there were no festivals recently where he could take out their wedding rings. He couldn't wait to wear the ring because it would show that he had a family. But it was meaningless to wear it himself. So, while Mu Qiqi was asleep, Xing Xiao took the ring box downstairs and handed it to Mama Xing. Mom, please give this to Qi. Mama Xing was shocked when she opened it. This is your wedding ring. Why don't you give it to her yourself? I wasn't ready when we got married. Now that I'm ready, but there are no important days. I don't know how to give it to her. Just tell her that you and Dad prepared it for us. It will make her happier and more meaningful. Mama Xing frowned. She always felt that her son was not such a roundabout person. What do you want? Just say it. I also want her to coax me. When Xing Xiao said this, his tone was very light. It sounded like a joke. But Mama Xing knew that in her son's heart, he also hoped that Xiao Qi would play tricks on him and make their life more romantic. Understanding what her son meant, Mama Xing chuckled. That's it. I'll give it to her for you. Won't your conscience hurt if you take something you made and let Qi coax you to make you happy? I want to have a sense of ceremony. She did not know how Mu Qiqi would give the wedding rings to Xing Xiao after she got them. I hope you can always love Xiao Qi like this. Xing Xiao raised his eyebrows. Was there a need to doubt it? He had never regretted the woman he chose. He loved her more every day. That little thing was his for the rest of her life. No one could take her away, not even the king of hell. On the other hand, Tang Yan went up the mountain. That night, Feng Shanshan was the only one at home. What Mu Chi-Chi said to her last night lingered in her mind. But she knew very well that she did not have the confidence to keep Tang Yen by relying on true love and feelings. The danger level of this man was comparable to that of a typhoon. But she did not know that Tang Yen was determined to have her. Late at night, it started raining on the mountain again. Because the residents on the mountain couldn't accommodate the people from the police station, the people from the police station temporarily rested in the temple. They started a fire and a group of people gathered around it to keep warm. When it rains, there will be less evidence in the cellar, said the professor. It's really troublesome. We still haven't found the exact identity of the couple's bodies. I wonder if the screening is over. It's over. Tang Yen hung up the phone and said to the professor, the couple are unemployed people from this city. They are both 28 years old. The man's name is Chen Qiao and the woman's name is Xiao Yu. They are childhood sweethearts. They have been missing for a week. Because they usually go out to play, no one at home reported them. It was not until this afternoon when Xiao Yu's mother couldn't get through to her phone that she went to the police station. It's easier now that we know the identities of the victims. The professor sighed. The tattoos on their bodies, the temple, and the cellar all hide a lot of secrets. Now, it's up to you young people to dig them out. Uncle, I'll send you down, said Tang Yen. The forensics laboratory needs you more. You're willing to go down? The professor was surprised. I thought you would stay up there until the case is solved. The clues are all down there. Chapter 590. Not long after Feng Shanshan returned home, she received a call from the police station, saying that the pair of B*cheese who had injured her had been found. After squandering the cash they had taken from her, they had nowhere to go, so they found a new target. However, they were not so lucky this time and were sent directly to the police station. Feng Shanshan thought that she did not need to waste her time on these two rascals. But after thinking about it, why should she? They ate her food, lived in her place, robbed her money, and injured her head. Why should she let them live a good life? So, Feng Shanshan went to the police station. When Tang Yen went down the hill, he went straight home. But no one answered the doorbell after he rang it for a long time. So, Tang Yen took out his phone and called Feng Shanshan. Where are you? I'm at the police station. It's 3:00 in the morning. Are you at the police station? Tang Yen frowned. It's not about the case. It's a private matter. The two B*cheese have been found, Feng Shanshan replied. Tang Yen did not say anything else. He did not have the key to the door, so he could only go to the police station. At this moment, the two B*cheese were kneeling on the ground, kowtowing to Feng Shanshan and apologizing. Shanshan, please let us go. We were just confused. Shanshan, I've been with you for so long. Please don't sue us. I don't want to go to jail. Please, I beg you. If a stranger broke into my house and robbed me, I might not hate him so much. But I've given my heart to you. Since you betrayed me, I won't let you go. Otherwise, what would I become? Feng Shanshan asked the two. Shanshan, aren't you fine? That's because I'm tough. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. Shanshan, I apologize to you. Really? My grandmother is critically ill at home. I had no choice. If you don't believe me, look at the notice in my phone. Feng Shanshan calmed down and looked at her friend. When she was about to say something, Tang Yen arrived at the police station. Haven't you settled the matter? Feng Shanshan turned around and looked at the man. She frowned. I'm sleepy too. But these two keep wasting my time. Go out and wait, Tang Yen said to Feng Shanshan. The car is not locked. Listening to his words, did this man mean to help her deal with it? Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan slipped away quickly. She couldn't ask for more help. So, this time, she listened to Tang Yan. She walked out of the police station and opened the door of Tang Yan's SUV. When the two of them saw Tang Yan, they immediately panicked. Tang Yan's height gave them an oppressive feeling. In addition to his muscles, the two bastards were sweating profusely. Detective Tang, how should we deal with these two people? The police asked Tang Yan. Everyone in the team was busy with the dismemberment case, and they still had to deal with these two B***cheese. They were very impatient. You guys are unlucky, Tang Yan said to the two B***cheese. Officer. My grandma is really sick, that's why What does your grandma's critical condition have to do with me? Tang Yan retorted with a different kind of anger. Even the members of the police team felt that Officer Tang was exceptionally cold today. No. You. Police, shouldn't you sympathize with ordinary citizens like us? I was born without a heart. Especially to criminals. Then, Tang Yan said to the police, charge them with robbery and intentional assault. Charge them with public prosecution. Okay. The police officer nodded. Tang Yan was good at psychological profiling, but everyone knew that he was also good at other aspects. He could fight and resist, and his mind was terrifyingly calm. So, there was a rumor that Tang Yan was here to replace the captain of the criminal investigation team because the current captain was going to be transferred away. Because of this premise, the members of the police team obeyed his orders. Feng Shanshan's good friend saw Tang Yan defending Feng Shanshan, so she asked, your relationship with Feng Shanshan must be unusual. Otherwise, you wouldn't have helped her vent her anger. It's none of your business. She's a whore who's willing to be a husband to anyone. She slept with a second-generation rich boyfriend and even had an abortion. Take her away. Tang Yan's voice was cold. Then, he left the police station and returned to the car. Is it settled? Feng Shanshan saw the cold expression on Tang Yan's face. She knew that the two men would not end well. The cold Hades must be very tired. But the key was with her, and she was at the police station. Tang Yan could only help her settle the matter quickly before he could go home and sleep. Of course, Feng Shanshan would not know what her friend had said to Tang Yan just now. Tang Yan did not answer her. He quickly drove off. Feng Shanshan saw that his face was really bad, so she kept quiet. After a while, they arrived home. Feng Shanshan saw the sofa and laid down on it. Anyway, the cold Hades would go back to his study. They must be living together with the strangest relationship. Tang Yan stood in the living room and stared at Feng Shanshan's back. After a while, he bent down to carry Feng Shanshan and strode into the bedroom. What are you doing? It's midnight. Tang Yan's face was very close. Feng Shanshan's heart raced. She had no idea what he was going to do. But Tang Yan did not say anything. After he put her down, he turned and left the bedroom. You're too strange. Feng Shanshan lay on the bed. She felt comfortable. She was too lazy to move and fell asleep on the bed. You know that some people are hell, an abyss, a moth flying into the fire, but you can't do anything to them. The next morning, Mu Chichi woke up early and went downstairs. She saw Mama Xing preparing breakfast. Xiao Qi, are you up so early because of the exam? Mu Chichi nodded. It's because of the exam. That's why the perverted teachers asked me to go to school early. Thinking of the ring Xing Xiao gave her yesterday, Mama Xing took it out from the room when there was no one else in the house. This is for you. Mu Chichi took it and saw 2 rings. She was shocked. Mom, this is... This is the wedding ring for you and eighth brother. Take it as a token of our appreciation. Find a chance to give it to eighth brother. Don't be so nice to me. Mu-Chi-Chi almost cried. Silly child, keep it well. Mama Xing smiled happily. Give eighth brother a big surprise. Mu-Chi-Chi looked at the diamond rings carefully. They were so meticulous, so exquisite, and full of emotion. They were objects that were watered with love. They did not look like gifts that a mother-in-law prepared for her daughter-in-law and son. What's wrong? Chapter 591. Although Mu-Chi-Chi was easily immersed in happiness, it did not mean that she was a little cutie who did not know how to think. How could her man not know such an important thing? She did not believe it. But since Mama Xing had given it to her, fine. She would pretend that she did not know. When she arrived at school, Mu-Chi-Chi saw that Feng Shanshan was completely listless. She asked her, "Did you not sleep well these days? Or did you do something bad?" Those two B*****s were caught. The police called me at 2 in the middle of the night. What could I do? Feng Shanshan answered angrily. Then how did you take revenge? I don't know. I handed it over to the police and left. Feng Shanshan answered. You just let them go after they broke their heads. What else can I do? I can't call them back. Feng Shanshan pointed at the podium with her chin. The teacher is here. Let's listen. In the morning, in the noble ward of the hospital. The butler had received 3 calls in the short hour he stayed in the hospital. This made Grandpa Xing look at him suspiciously. Something happened at home. Yes, master. Something happened to my son. Then go back and solve it. Xiling and Huran are here. There are others who can take care of me. You don't have to do everything yourself. After listening to the old man's words, the butler smiled and said, Then I'll go home in peace. Go. You are not bored staying in the hospital all day. I am bored to death. The butler thanked Grandpa Xing again and left the hospital with the food box. Of course, he knew that once he left, both his family and the Xing family would change dramatically. But in his heart, he would not betray Grandpa Xing even if he died. After all, they had been master and servant for so many years. Moreover, the Xing family had treated him well. Thinking of this, the butler called Xing Bowen. Third young master, you must be careful of second young master. If you are in trouble, you must ask eighth young master for help. Butler, do you know something? I don't know anything. I just think that second young master might have some ulterior motives, the butler answered. Okay, I will remember, Xing Bowen answered. After that, he asked the butler with concern, Butler, are you okay? I'm fine, third young master, don't worry. If you have any difficulties, you must tell me. Xing Bowen was a little worried. Thank you, third young master. The butler knew that he had to take care of his family and his son's feelings when he returned home. However, he did not want to betray the Xing family or Grandpa Xing. The person who called him was his wife. Over the phone, she kept scolding him for not helping her. Because Xing Kai had prepared the best lawyer for him, but he was not willing to accept their help. When his wife found out, she was heartbroken and couldn't believe it was her husband's choice. If Xing Kai and his wife did not go to his wife, how would she know about it? Clearly, Xing Kai and his wife were forcing him to submit. Xing Bowen found it strange. Usually, the butler would not call him alone, let alone because of Xing Kai. Thinking of this, Xing Bowen immediately realized that something might have happened to the butler, so he called Huran. Huran picked up the phone and heard Xing Bowen asking, Is the housekeeper there? Grandpa gave him a day off to deal with some matters. This morning, he received 3 emergency calls in a row. Okay, I got it. Xing Bowen hung up the phone and asked his secretary to find out where the butler lived and what happened. He had a feeling that it might have something to do with second brother. Then, Xing Bowen called Xing Xiao. Eighth brother, what is it? I think something must have happened to the butler's family. Xing Bowen told Xing Xiao about the butler's call today. The butler is so old, and he is so loyal to the Xing family. If second brother really does something to an old man like him, I really think he is not human anymore. Since you have already sent someone to investigate, why did you call me? You are so smart. You must be able to help the butler. Xing Bowen said. Eighth brother, the butler is very important to Grandpa. He is like a brother. Xing Xiao did not answer. Instead, he hung up the phone and said to Su Che, go out immediately. I will tell you what you need to do over the phone later. Where to? Xing Xiao thought for a moment and wrote it to Su Che. The butler had mentioned about his family and his background. Xing Xiao remembered it because his memory was no joke. However, Xing Xiao was puzzled. Why could Xing Kai not help but attack the butler? Grandpa Xing was still lying in the hospital. What he did not know was that Grandpa Xing had already told the Xing family that he had made his will. Xing Kai and his wife knew that they had no chance, so they did it. Of course, they underestimated the butler's loyalty to the Xing family and Xing Bowen's ability. They even underestimated Xing Xiao's concern for this matter. In fact, the butler had already prepared for the worst on his way home. But he could not bear to. He could not bear to leave the Xing family and the young masters and ladies of the Xing family. In the evening, Mu Qiqi went straight home after class. Xing Xiao had called her and told her that he was going somewhere at night and might not be able to come back tomorrow. Mu Qiqi did not wait for Xing Xiao to explain and agreed immediately. Since her man felt that it was urgent, she would certainly follow him without hesitation. So, Feng Shanshan was the only one who went to the autopsy room. However, when she went in, she got the news that the former captain of the criminal investigation team had been transferred in the morning. Now, Tang Yan was officially taking over the team. Feng Shanshan was surprised. No wonder Tang Yan had to come in from nowhere. She did not expect that the higher-ups were prepared for this. I thought Officer Tang was just here to help. You have underestimated him, haven't you? The professor smiled. He became a criminal police officer at the age of 21. It has been almost 7 years now. Do you think he is not capable of leading the team? I don't mean that. I just don't see it. Feng Shanshan scratched her nose awkwardly. That cold-faced Yama did not tell me his real age. You are giving people random nicknames again. The professor was speechless. Since he is the captain, can't you give him some face in the future? Feng Shanshan coughed softly. Was she not giving Tang Yan face? Chapter 592. I'll pack my things and go out with you. The professor naturally accepted the task. After all, he had to support his nephew. However, Tang Yan did not answer. Instead, he looked at Feng Shanshan. Are you talking about me? Feng Shanshan pointed at her nose and asked. What else? I'm just an assistant. I'm not an official forensic doctor yet. Cut the crap. Hurry up. Tang Yan walked out of the autopsy room. Does this count as a new official making 3 changes? Feng Shanshan was a little unconvinced. The professor could not help but laugh when he heard this. Since he asked you to go, he must have his reasons. He won't take revenge on you. Really? Feng Shanshan was doubtful. Of course, her suspicion was very correct. For example, Tang Yan's punishment for the 2B** cheese last night was very heavy. Feng Shanshan did not think too much about it. She simply packed up her things and followed Tang Yen after a while. Just the two of us. When she saw that Tang Yen did not bring anyone with him, Feng Shanshan could not help but look at him curiously. There are forensic doctors in the station and the professor is also here. Why do you want to bring a half-baked doctor like me? Although I don't want to admit it, in terms of professionalism, I'm not even as good as Muchichi. There's no need for an autopsy. I'm just going to see Xiao Yu's mother. After that, today's task will be considered completed. Tang Yen walked in front and gave Feng Shanshan an explanation. It's on the way. Get the key. I said, I'm not worthy, Feng Shanshan said stubbornly. Before she got the key, she still had someone to look for. If she got the key, even if she and Tang Yen lived under the same roof, they would not have much interaction. They were clearly living together. She did not want herself to think that she was living with a ghost. Give me a reason. If I don't get the key, I still have someone to look for. If I get the key, you'll be appearing and disappearing all day. I'll feel very uncomfortable. After hearing this, Tang Yen did not say anything else. Instead, he brought her directly to Xiao Yu's house. However, as a woman, Feng Shanshan felt gloomy the moment she entered Xiao Yu's house. I can see that her mother is also a very superstitious person. There is a very strong sandalwood smell in the house. Tang Yen glanced at Feng Shanshan and told her, Xiao Yu's grandfather went to the temple to cultivate in his later years. He had a great influence on the family. So, Xiao Yu and her mother believed in Buddha since they were young. Xiao Yu's father hated the fact that his entire family had gone berserk, so when Xiao Yu was 7 years old, he abandoned them and went out to roam the world alone. I haven't heard from him in the past few years. Xiao Yu's death is related to her father. Tang Yen did not say it out loud because the two of them had already entered Xiao Yu's living room. Feng Shanshan and Tang Yen looked at each other when they saw the furnishings inside that looked like a Buddhist hall. Madam Xiao, there's something I want to discuss with you. Officer Tang, please speak. The woman sat on the sofa and covered her face as she wept. Because Tang Yen had been there once, Xiao Yu's mother had a deep impression of him. I don't know if you have seen this pattern before. Tang Yen showed the tattoo on Xiao Yu's body to Xiao Yu's mother. Xiao Yu's mother's face changed when she saw it. Officer Tang, why are you asking me this? Because your daughter has this pattern on her body. Xiao Yu's mother was stunned and cried even harder. I didn't know that Xiao Yu hated me so much. She hated me as a mother. Can you explain it in detail? It's all because of her and Chen Qiao. Because we have always believed in Buddha, it caused the neighbors to criticize us. So, the Qin family looked down on Xiao Yu and wanted to separate her and Chen Qiao. Xiao Yu's mother explained, she argued with me and wanted to live a normal life, but I didn't agree. I didn't expect that she would choose such an extreme method to protest against me. This talisman is used to curse people. It's a curse that makes people unable to reincarnate forever. What did you talk about the last time you met your daughter? Tang Yen continued to ask. She told me that she and Chen Qiao were going to a faraway place to play for a long time. I thought that they were just like usual, so I didn't pay much attention to it, Xiao Yu's mother answered. Do you know the temple on the mountain? Xiao Yu's mother shook her head. Sorry to disturb you today. Tang Yen did not want to ask more questions, so he stood up from the chair. Feng Shanshan also stood up with him. I'll send you off. After walking out of the Xiao family, Feng Shanshan hugged her shoulders tightly because she felt extremely gloomy. If Tang Yen was not by her side, she would not dare to come to such a place. It was no wonder that the Qin family objected to the two children's relationship. It was an abnormal family. What do you want to know by coming here? Their phones were not found, and we can't find out who the last person Xiao Yu and Chen Chao saw was. Xiao Yu's mother looked very sad in front of us, but the tattoo on her daughter's body was obviously cursing someone or even her own mother. I don't believe that Xiao Yu's mother didn't see it or didn't know about it. Because of Chen Chao, their relationship should be very tense. So, Xiao Yu's mother must be hiding a lot of things, Tang Yan answered. Feng Shanshan felt cold and could not help but shrink her neck. At this time, Tang Yan reached out and held her under his arm. Let's go back. Are you using your official position for personal gain? Feng Shanshan said uncomfortably. If you don't want to come out and learn, I'll find someone else next time. I didn't say that. Feng Shanshan immediately became obedient. Just like that, Tang Yan brought her out of the Shao family. In the dark night, on the Bluestone Road, their shadows were very long. Feng Shanshan did not know why, but she suddenly had a feeling in her heart that she was different from others in this man's heart. There was something special about her. But Tang Yan said nothing. On the other hand, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi had just arrived at the butler's hometown. Su Che immediately found out about the butler's son. This old man's son was obviously used as a tool by someone. A group of people dragged him into a gang fight. In the end, the knife was found in his hand. Where is the butler now? In the hotel opposite the detention center, Su Che said. He's with his wife. What's second brother doing? I went to ask around. It seems that the couple quarreled in the hotel. In the detention center, the old man's son also shouted that his father did not save him. Go and find out more. I want to know the whole story, Xing Xiao said to Su Che. Su Che nodded and left the hotel. Chapter 593. Are you unhappy that I'm here to help him? Xing Xiao sat on the sofa and asked Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi shook her head. Since you're here, it means that this is not a simple matter. I won't ask about Xing Kai. Xing Xiao beckoned Mu Qiqi with his finger. Come here. When Mu Qiqi came closer, he pulled her to sit on his lap. If you're tired, you can sleep. Mu Qiqi shook her head. I can't sleep if you don't sleep. Speaking of which, you don't care about the Xing family's affairs. But when something happens to the Xing family, you're the first one to run. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi seriously. Are you disappointed? How could I be disappointed? In fact, it was because her man was emotional that he cherished the old times. He seemed to be indifferent, but in fact, he remembered many people in his heart. At this time, the butler was lying on the bed. He could not sleep because his son's cries kept ringing in his ears. Although he was a good-for-nothing son, he was still his own son. He could not bear to ignore him. But if he really used the lawyer Xing Kai found, he was destined to be in the hands of that couple in the future. He did not want to betray Grandpa Xing. This was a dilemma. He had already made it clear that he would use all his savings to find a better lawyer for his son, but the mother and son seemed to have been drugged and insisted on this lawyer. Now that he thought about it, the butler was very angry, sad, and conflicted. More importantly, Xing Kai had already talked to the local people. In other words, if he did not agree to accept Xing Kai's help, his son would not be able to escape from prison. Thinking about how he had done his best for the Xing family for so many years, he had really done his best. He really did not expect that Xing Kai could force him to this extent. Unable to bear it anymore, the butler called Xing Kai. Second young master, you can't bully people like this. Aren't you afraid that I'll tell old master about this? Butler, I want to help you out of kindness. Why won't you agree? Your son is in danger now. Why are you forcing me to give in to you? Say it clearly. The housekeeper asked angrily. My son doesn't need your help. He can be fine. How can you not understand my painstaking efforts? All you have to do is accept my kindness. Xing Kai. You will die a horrible death. The butler was anxious and scolded, don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. You're fantasizing about old master's will. Let me tell you, there's no benefit in forcing me into a corner. Butler, aren't you being too self-righteous? Xing Kai laughed on the other end of the phone. I just want to help you. I don't want your help. After that, the butler smashed the phone. He only had one son, but he did not want to betray the Xing family. Therefore, he could only go to the extreme. It was midnight. Su Che suddenly appeared in front of Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi's room and knocked on the door. CEO, something happened. Xing Xiao sat up, opened the door and looked at Su Che. That old man jumped off a building. He's in the hospital now. Fortunately, he jumped on the grass. The hospital is trying to save him. What happened? Did you find out? Xing Xiao immediately turned around and went back to his room. He changed his clothes on the hanger with his back facing Su Che. Xing Kai hired a lawyer to help him, but the old man kept rejecting him. Xing Kai must have gone to the old man first, but he was rejected. Later, he went to the old man's wife and son. The people in the detention center were all told to take special care of them. It seems that Xing Kai wants to force the old man to submit. As for the specific reason, only the two of them know. Su Che said. When Xing Xiao heard the last sentence, he had already put on his watch. Second brother doesn't know that we're here, right? I don't think so. If we didn't come, the butler would have been forced to his death, Xing Xiao said coldly. It seems that he doesn't want to stay in Jianchuan anymore. What should we do now? Go and greet the people in the detention center first. Suppress Xing Kai's men and let the police intervene in this matter fairly. The butler's son is innocent in the first place. He doesn't need a lawyer. Also, bring that lawyer here. I want to see him. I'll do it right away, said Su Che. What about the hospital? The butler's family is in the hospital. You don't have to worry. The butler's wife was probably scared out of her wits after he jumped off the building. She probably wouldn't cause trouble for him now. Then, Xing Kai, record everything that happened here. When we go back, let the Xing family appreciate it. Xing Xiao said coldly. I thought that second brother would restrain himself. I didn't expect him to become a demon. Then we can only subdue the demon. I bet Xing Kai is panicking too. Because of this, it was possible for second brother to continue to harm the butler. After all, if the butler was still alive, then his secret would be exposed. As expected, when Gu Xiling heard about the butler jumping off the building, she was so scared that her legs went weak. After all, it was a human life. She had never thought of forcing the butler to that extent. Both she and Xing Kai thought that as long as they pushed the butler to the edge, he would definitely compromise. Who would have thought that he would be so unyielding? What should we do now? The butler jumped off the building. We don't know if he's dead or alive. What should we do if he spreads the news? Xing Kai held Gu Xiling's hands. His eyes were firm. Then, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let this matter sleep forever. But he did not know that Xing Xiao had already intervened in this matter. At 2:00 in the morning, the lawyer hired by Xing Kai was dragged to Xing Xiao's room by Su Che. Who are you? Do you believe that I can sue you for kidnapping? The lawyer's tone was not soft. But Su Che kicked him on the knee. The man could not help but kneel on the ground. Only then did he see who was sitting in the room. Lawyer Song, you are so arrogant. When the lawyer saw Xing Xiao, he was so scared that his legs went weak. He knelt on the ground. Crown Prince, no, Chief Xing, I didn't know you were here. Look, why are you feeling guilty? Xing Xiao asked. Did you do something shameful? Chief Xing, I was forced. I was forced by second young master. I don't want to be ruthless. It seems that you have heard about the butler jumping off the building. Xing Xiao tidied his clothes and looked at the lawyer coldly. What did Xing Kai ask you to do? You better tell me everything now. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that the next person to jump off the building will not be you. When the lawyer heard that, he broke out in cold sweat and trembled. I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. Chapter 594. Xing Kai's despicableness was beyond Xing Zhao's imagination. In just a short time, he had turned himself into a monster through and through. That was why Xing Xiao did not have to care about any brotherhood this time. Xing Kai and Gu Xiling were going to disappear from the Xing family. In the hospital, the butler's wife was still sobbing in front of the operating room. She really did not expect that her husband would be forced to this extent. The second young master of the Xing family had said that he would help their family. But what about now? He had forced her husband to jump off the building. She was at a loss and did not know who to trust. After that, Xing Xiao asked Su Che to stay at the hospital. If the butler was lucky enough to survive, Su Che would transfer the butler to another hospital if the conditions allowed. Who are you? The butler's wife asked Su Che warily when she saw him. I am someone who can save your husband and son. Su Che replied. You should know something now. With that, Su Che played the recording to the butler's wife. After the housekeeper's wife heard this, she immediately fell to the ground and cried bitterly, It's my fault, it's my fault. I thought that the second young master was a good person. I really didn't expect that they would be so despicable and shameless to force my husband to submit. It's good that you know your ignorance. Su Che's voice was cold. I don't object to you loving your son more than your husband. But please give him the most basic respect and trust. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I caused him to become like this. That's right. It's you. With that, Su Che kept watch around the operating room. He did not want Xing Kai's people to have any chance to get close to the butler. If Xing Kai had the ability to snatch the man from his hands, he would not need to be Xing Zhao's assistant anymore. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao woke up early the next morning and was ready to return to Jianchuan. So, everything is settled? Mu Qiqi asked as she helped him put on his coat. The butler jumped off the building and is still in danger. Su Che is keeping watch at the hospital. We don't have to waste time here. Let's go back and settle the score. Xing Xiao said calmly. Are you sure it's Xing Kai? For the sake of the old man's will, I wanted to start with the butler. But I didn't expect the butler to be so stubborn and unwilling to work for Xing Kai. So, I chose such an extreme way to end my own life. I don't want to be in a dilemma. Then about his son, Su Che has also gone to greet them. If that group of people still want their hats, then they must try the case impartially. They don't need any lawyers at all. Otherwise, Mu Qiqi nodded after hearing that. She did not expect so many things to happen in just one night. She had slept so soundly. In other words, we'll be watching Xing Kai's show when we get back, right? Mu Qiqi asked. Xing Xiao turned to look at her, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. There was a hint of mockery and danger in his smile. Xing Kai was probably in deep trouble this time. Still, there was no telling if Jianchuan would tolerate him in the end. Either way, the Xing family definitely would not. That morning, Mu Qiqi did not go to Xingting for class. Feng Shanshan saw the empty seat beside her and suddenly felt very lonely. It turned out that this was the value of the existence of an opponent. Without Mu Qiqi and Xingting, even classes would be meaningless. It would be better to follow Tang Yan out on the field. Thinking of Tang Yan, Feng Shanshan had to admit that she had underestimated this man's ability. She did not expect that he had been a criminal police officer for 7 years. In the past, he was so quiet and unlikable. She thought that he was just an ordinary police officer. She did not expect that he was here to be the captain. Feng Shanshan had to admit that Tang Yan's identity as the captain of the special task force was a plus in her heart. Because it represented a man's courage, ability to plan, and ability to coordinate. Not everyone could bear this identity. But no matter how outstanding he was just a bed partner. Moreover, since Tang Yan was so outstanding, there must be many women who liked him in the past. His skills were so good. He must have had countless girlfriends in the past. How could she be serious about such a dangerous man? At 4:00 in the afternoon, Tang Yan just returned to the police station because he had a major discovery. He found out that there was a person in Jianchuan who used to have a tattoo like this. The tattooist told Tang Yan that there was once a woman who learned the art of tattooing from him just to get this tattoo. A woman. He also asked the police to ask the residents on the hill if they had seen Mrs. Xiao. One of the aunties had a good memory. She remembered that such a woman had come here before. So, Mrs. Xiao was listed as a key suspect and brought back to the police station for interrogation. "Officer, I've told you everything I know. Why do you still want to arrest me?" "That's because you didn't tell us the truth. Before Xiao Yu disappeared, you and Xiao Yu had a fight. Why didn't you tell the police about this?" The police began to interrogate Mrs. Xiao. We always fight like this, but this time, it was especially fierce, wasn't it? The neighbors saw it and you even slapped her." Mrs. Xiao's eyes began to flicker. After a while, she said, "Yes, I did slap her, but it was just a normal quarrel between a mother and daughter." "Then tell me, where did the tattoos on Xiao Yu and Chen Qiao come from?" The police continued to ask. "How would I know that Xiao Yu died so tragically?" "You're still lying. Do you know this man?" The police showed Mrs. Xiao the photo of the tattooist. "Do you still remember the time you learned the art of tattooing from him?" Mrs. Xiao's face suddenly changed. "I don't know him. Xiao Yu wanted to marry Chen Qiao, but you didn't agree. So, they agreed to elope, but you found out about it. You tried to stop Xiao Yu, but you failed." The police said, "We got this from the Chen family because Chen Qiao talked to his mother before he left with Xiao Yu. You said that you supported Xiao Yu and Chen Qiao to be together, but that's not the case at all. You can't bear to see your daughter leave with another man, just like how your husband left you, right?" Mrs. Xiao was obviously provoked. She suddenly exploded. No. You're talking nonsense." Tang Yan was outside the interrogation room. He knew that the mystery of this case was about to be solved. Seeing his tired face, the professor asked him, "I heard that you brought Shanshan to visit the place last night. I can't bring you there, can I?" Chapter 595. "It's just official business," Tang Yan answered coldly. After hearing that, the professor did not continue asking because he wanted to know if Tang Yan would explain. If he did, it would be like exposing himself. But he was just doing official business, which meant that Tang Yan really did not have any feelings for Feng Shanshan. Mu Qiqi did not come today. A rich family also has a lot of troubles. It's not easy for Mu Qiqi. The professor spoke up for Mu Qiqi. With such a background, she is still willing to come to our small police station. I am already very satisfied with her. What did I say? Tang Yan frowned and looked at the professor. You are the captain now. The criminal investigation team is yours. I am afraid that you will say that you don't want Xiao Qi. Compared to her, I want Feng Shanshan to go home more. Tang Yan told the truth, but the professor covered his mouth. Aren't you afraid that others will hear it? That girl is petty. She deserves to take revenge on you. In the evening, the setting sun appeared in the sky of Jianchuan. After Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi back to Jianchuan, he did not go to Xingkai personally. Instead, he tidied up everything and handed it to Grandpa Xing, who was lying in the hospital. The grandson was his, and the butler was also his. The choice was up to Grandpa Xing. The documents were sent by Grandpa Xing's attending doctor. Gu Xiling did not notice it. Grandpa Xing wanted to make a request to the doctor, but he did not want his family to hear it. So, the doctor used the reason of examining Grandpa Xing to ask his family to leave. I want to go back to Xing Mansion to deal with some things. I will come back later. Grandpa Xing begged the doctor. Old Xing, you have to know that your surgery is not an ordinary one. The recovery is slow. If you continue to worry about it, it will not be good for the wound to recover. If I don't deal with this matter, I will not be able to eat and sleep in peace, said Grandpa Xing. Some of the sequelae after your surgery have not been completely eliminated. I am really worried. But if you must go out, can you promise me that you will not be emotional? If you can, I will agree to give you 2 hours. I promise. Grandpa Xing had not even seen his own great-grandson. How could he bear to let anything happen to him? So, he would let Xing Bowen handle Xing Kai's matter. Then, he would make a decision. He would not quarrel or argue anymore. It was not worth it. After getting the doctor's approval, Grandpa Xing immediately called Xing Bowen and told everyone in the Xing family to come home before 8. Xing Bowen vaguely guessed that it might have something to do with the butler, but what if he was overthinking? That was why he called Xing Xiao. How is the butler? How did you know that I would intervene in this matter? Grandpa asked the Xing family to go home before 8 o'clock. So, I guess it must be because of you, said Xing Bowen. 8th brother, you're not a heartless person. I know that. Since Grandpa Xing has summoned you, just go. It's useless to call me since I'm not a member of the Xing family now. With that, Xing Xiao hung up. In that case, the old man still had to deal with it head-on. That meant that Xing Kai would be eliminated. However, it didn't matter if Xing Kai was eliminated. But could the old man's body endure it? To be honest, when he handed the information to Grandpa Xing, Xing Xiao was also very hesitant. Because he knew the power of this bomb. But the butler's life and death were still unknown. He was lying in the ICU for observation. Was Xing Kai not responsible at all? Then, he would be even more unscrupulous in doing such things in the future. On the way back to the Xing family, Grandpa Xing tried to call Xing Xiao. 8th brother, do you want to come back? No, said Xing Xiao. With 3rd brother and the others around, there's not much point in me going. 2nd brother will eventually know that I've interfered. So, you don't have to make enemies for me. All right then. Grandpa Xing still wanted to treat Xing Xiao as a member of the family. However, Xing Xiao no longer had any feelings for the Xing family. Now, Banyan Courtyard was his home. Wherever Xiao Qi was, that was where he belonged. Everyone in the Xing family received the news that they had to return home before 8 o'clock. Because it was Xing Bowen who informed them, the Xing family thought that Xing Bowen had some news. They would never have guessed that Grandpa Xing had already returned home. Xing Kai had guessed it in his heart. But now that the butler's situation was a mess, his heart was also in a mess. The butler committed suicide. The lawyer saw that the situation was not right and turned around to run away. The police had also begun to follow the proper procedures to investigate the case. They did not allow him to continue to threaten the butler. Shinkai knew that things were very bad because he was still a greenhorn. However, Gu Xiling had been watching over Grandpa Xing. There shouldn't be any news from him. So, if it was just third brother talking nonsense, he could completely control the situation. Xing Bowen returned home early and saw Grandpa Xing sitting in a wheelchair in the study. He was very surprised. "Grandpa, you should be recovering in the hospital. I've taken 2 hours off. Now, take a look at these documents." Grandpa Xing handed the documents to Xing Bowen. "These are all sent by 8th brother. Although I don't know how he got them." Xing Bowen first played the recording. His face began to show anger. Then, he heard the news that the butler's life was in danger. "Grandpa, is this true?" Xing Bowen still could not believe it. He knew that Shinkai and Gu Xiling were capricious. But he never thought that they would do such a thing to kill someone. And this person was an old man who had been with the Xing family for decades. When second brother comes back later, you confront him. "I don't want to say this. I don't want to argue with him," said Grandpa Xing. Old Xing said. "Make things clear in front of everyone. I think it's time to put an end to some things." Xing Bowen was stunned when he heard the word end. "Grandpa, what do you mean?" "You'll know in the family meeting later," said Grandpa Xing. Xing Bowen actually guessed that Grandpa Xing would chase the two out of the house. But he did not know that Grandpa Xing was actually going to be even more ruthless. "Then, for the sake of your health, don't come out first. I don't want you to see their faces, go ahead." Grandpa Xing waved his hand. Faces. It was not like he had not seen it before. What was there to avoid? However, to reassure Xing Bowen and to give Shinkai a surprise, Grandpa Xing really stayed in the study and did not come out immediately. By then, most of the Xing family had entered the house, including Shinkai and Gu Xiling. Chapter 596. You don't have to worry about Grandpa. Actually, I have something else to ask you. This afternoon, I got a piece of news and want to ask second brother for confirmation. Shinkai was shocked, but he pretended to be calm. "I'm tired. Let's talk at the office tomorrow morning. It's not about work." Xing Bowen stopped him. "Second brother, why are you feeling guilty?" Shinkai turned around and retorted, "Third brother, I know you're the CEO of Huangyao now. That's great. But now that we're home, shouldn't you give me some basic respect as your second brother? Don't tell me that I need to get your permission to rest. Do you know that the butler committed suicide?" Xing Bowen went straight to the point. He did not want to beat around the bush with Shinkai anymore. "What? When did it happen? You're so good at pretending." Xing Bowen sneered. "Second brother, how long are you going to pretend in front of the family? Do you really think that no one will know what you've done? I don't understand what you're talking about. What does the butler's suicide have to do with me?" "Lawyer Song, don't tell me you don't know him." Xing Bowen asked Shinkai directly. "What are you trying to say?" Shinkai asked angrily. "That's right. Third brother, what are you accusing second brother of?" Sixth brother was also anxious. "What does the butler's suicide have to do with second brother?" "The butler's son was arrested for assault and is now in the detention center. Our good second brother said that he wanted to help the butler, but in fact, he wanted to control the butler. The butler did not accept second brother's help, so second brother used his identity to pressure the people in the detention center and not allow other lawyers to take on the butler's son's case. The butler did not want to betray Grandpa, so he chose to commit suicide. Xingboan explained to everyone. You're lying. Keep lying. Xingkai said to Xingboan calmly. The butler has taken care of me for so many years. Why would I do this to him? Because Grandpa announced the will in the hospital that day. You're afraid that you won't get a share of the inheritance, so you want to fight for the butler, Xingboan said loudly. Xingboan said loudly. Haven't you noticed it yourself? Is your behavior really abnormal recently? Of course, I don't want my second brother to do this either. Since you don't want to, why are you slandering me? Xingkai insisted and refused to admit it. Second brother, if you still have a little conscience, you should kneel in front of the housekeeper and repent. Even now, his life and death are still unknown. It's all because of your selfishness that you don't want to admit it. It doesn't matter. After all, Lawyer Song has already clearly explained this matter and recorded it on his phone. There are traces of you everywhere in the housekeeper's hometown. Don't think that you can hide from everyone. When Xingkai heard that, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. But he refused to admit it. You make it sound like you were there. Second brother, did you really do that to the butler? Sixth brother looked at him in disbelief. For Grandpa's inheritance? Since you all believe me, there's nothing I can do. Xingkai looked helpless. Obviously, he was not convinced. However, he did not know what kind of evidence Xingboan had in his hands. Xiling, let's go back to the room. Wait. Xingboan blocked their way. I'm afraid you won't be able to hide from what happened today. What else do you want? Xingkai asked. The butler has taken care of the Xing family for his whole life and is loyal to Grandpa. But you, for your own selfishness, forced him to this point. It's hard to guarantee that you won't have other ideas for the inheritance in the future. You might even want to kill Grandpa. How can we dare to keep a person like you in the Xing family? Xingboan said sternly. So, I think it's better for you and second sister-in-law to leave the Xing family. I will also give you the shares of Huang Yao, Xingboan said seriously. As soon as he said this, the entire family was shocked. Was he trying to kick his own brother out of the family? Xingboan, don't you think too highly of yourself? Xingkai laughed. Do you really think that you are the CEO of Huang Yao now and the chairman of Huang Yao in the future? You said that I'm doing this for Grandpa's inheritance. Who can prove it? Don't take a chicken feather as a token of authority and spout nonsense here. But what if I insist that you leave the Xing family today? Xingboan asked again. Third brother, you are too soft. You are not suitable to be a leader. Don't you know that? Do you know how many employees in the company are dissatisfied with you? If I didn't settle it for you, do you think you have the right to show off in front of me now? You want to kick me out of the Xing family. Who gave you the right? Let me tell you, Xingboan. I just don't fight for it. If I fight for it, you are no match for me. You are still shamelessly slandering me. Have I not been good enough to Grandpa all this time? Third brother, you better not let Grandpa know about this. Otherwise, he will definitely teach you a lesson. Xingboan did not say anything else. He directly played the recording. No, it should be said that it was a video. Third brother, don't go too far. When Xingkai saw Lawyer Song's face on the screen, he immediately snatched the phone and smashed it on the ground. The butler has been so good to us. He has taken so much care of us. I really did not expect you to be so cruel. Xingkai, who do you think wants to kick you out of the Xing family tonight? Xingboan looked at the broken phone and questioned Xingkai sternly. Isn't it you from the beginning to the end? Or should I say, eighth brother? It's me. At this moment, when the two brothers were arguing endlessly, Grandpa Xing came out of the study. Everyone could not help but shift the timeline. When they saw Grandpa Xing, they were all shocked. "I'm the one who wants to kick you out of the Xing family. Is this enough?" When Xing Kai saw Grandpa Xing, he immediately took 2 steps back in disbelief. "Grandpa, don't listen to third brother's nonsense. I was the one who asked third brother to confront you," Grandpa Xing said to Xing Kai calmly. Grandpa Xing said to Xing Kai calmly. "I was the one who gave the evidence to third brother. It was my idea to kick you out of the Xing family. It had nothing to do with him. Grandpa, I am your grandson. How can you do this to me? Then tell me, why did you force the butler? Tell me clearly, and I will give you another chance." Xing Kai choked. It should be said that he could not make up a story at all. Chapter 597. Since you can't give me an answer, I will answer it for you. Because you want my inheritance, the shares of Huang Yao, the position of the chairman, and the supreme glory. So, you did not hesitate to attack the butler to force him to give in. But you did not expect that the butler would be so stubborn. He did not care about your threats at all. He would rather die than betray me and the Xing family. Second brother, what else do you have to say? Grandpa Xing looked at Xing Kai coldly. Xing Kai could not help but laugh mockingly. It seems that Grandpa is determined to kick me out today. So, you still don't think that you are wrong? I am wrong. Xing Kai asked himself, I'm not wrong. You've always been biased. You've never treated us brothers fairly. If you could be fair, I wouldn't be so anxious. You used to love 8th brother, and now you love 3rd brother. Have you ever loved me sincerely? Grandpa, all this is because of you. I will not be in your will. I have nothing. How can I be satisfied? Grandpa, I am your grandson. But now, I am not even as good as the butler. If you want to kick me out, I can't say no. But I will not be satisfied. I will never be satisfied. Now that things have come to this, it is not important whether you are satisfied or not. Anyway, tomorrow, Huang Yao will announce to the public that you will disappear from the Xing family's genealogy forever. Since I've already gone this far, I'm not afraid of going further. Your shares will be converted into cash as per normal, but you can't take anything else from the Xing family. Moreover, no matter where you want to develop in Jianchuan, you will be suppressed by Huang Yao and the Xing family. Until I die, you must carry out this order. Grandpa Xing said resolutely. When I was sick and hospitalized, you and Gu Xiling had evil intentions. Do you think I did not see it? I've always thought that the most annoying people in this family are the ignorant and incompetent people, such as eldest brother and 6th brother. However, it's only now that I understand what the truly annoying and hateful people are like. You, and Gu Xiling, make me feel even more hideous than myself. What's wrong with a butler? Although the butler is not related to me by blood, he would rather die than betray me. Can you do that? Xing Kai, from this moment on, you are no longer a Xing. I admit that 8th brother went out of his own will, but you have been driven out of this house by me, and you will never be able to step into it again. After hearing Grandpa Xing's last words, Xing Kai took a few steps back. He didn't expect that things would turn out this way and that he would end up like this. Lao San, you're really good. I'm surprised. I didn't expect you to use such a vicious method just to take me down and stop threatening your position as CEO. Xing Bowen frowned and answered Xing Kai, I don't see you as an opponent. Do you think I will still believe you? It doesn't matter to me whether you believe it or not, Xing Bowen said. Because my goal is not to deal with you. You don't want to deal with me, but you watch me being driven out of the house. Xing Bowen, you are such a good brother. Xing Kai shouted agitatedly. Good Xing family. Since this place doesn't accept me, I will leave with Xiling. But I won't let it go. You can suppress me or target me, but one day, I will tell you who is the real master of this place. Having said that, Xing Kai took Gu Xiling's hand. Let's go. Gu Xiling looked at Grandpa Xing with hatred and smiled. Grandpa Xing, you will die a horrible death. Having said that, they left the house. Grandpa Xing had said that they were not allowed to take anything away. Seeing this scene, Hu Ran stood by the side and secretly held Xing Bowen's arm. Those B***cheese have finally left this house. Grandpa, I will send you back to the hospital. Xing Bowen looked down at Grandpa Xing. Third brother, from now on, you have to be careful. Grandpa Xing patted the back of his hand. I don't want to care about the Xing family anymore. The seed of Xing Kai's hatred had been completely planted in the deep pool that was the Xing family. Don't let him make a comeback. It's all up to you. Grandpa, I understand. Who knew what the future would be like? Help me call eighth brother. I want to see him. Hearing this, Xing Bowen suddenly felt that the old man in front of him was just putting up a strong front. So, when they returned to the hospital, Xing Bowen immediately asked the doctor to check on Grandpa Xing. It's nothing serious. He's just too tired, the doctor answered. Have you settled your family affairs? Xing Bowen nodded and called Xing Xiao. Grandpa wants to see you. The butler has woken up, but his head is badly injured. He might have dementia in the future. Grandpa kicked Xing Kai out of the house, Xing Bowen said seriously. Eighth brother, I'm really afraid that Grandpa can't take it anymore. He has to. I will bring Qi here tomorrow morning. After Xing Kai and Gu Xiling left home, they went to Gu Xiling's mother's house. When Mama Gu heard about Xing Kai, she felt sorry for her son-in-law. Why is this old thing so muddle-headed? He doesn't protect his grandson but sides with an outsider. Is there something wrong with him? Mom, now that we've been kicked out of the Xing family, we don't know what to do and we have nowhere to go. You can stay here first. We'll talk about it later. Kai, don't be afraid. Xiling's grandfather knows a lot of people. When the time comes, he can introduce you to them. The Xing family doesn't want you, but the Gu family hasn't collapsed yet. If they look down on us, they will pay them back 100 times sooner or later. Thank you, Mom. Xing Kai covered his face with his hand. His expression was very gloomy. Because he thought of something. Xiling, have you ever thought about who gave the evidence to Grandpa? It can't be third brother. Who else could it be? Gu Xiling sneered. Other than your omnipotent eighth brother. In fact, Xing Kai had the answer in his heart. But it seemed that he could only accept it after hearing Gu Xiling say it. Eighth brother, I will definitely let you taste the taste of failure. Let's not talk so much now. Let's think about what we should do in the future. Hatred was probably the thing that could make a person grow. With this motivation, would Xing Kai not work hard and improve himself? The only pity was that this man could not give her a child. Late at night, Mu Qiqi learned from Xing Xiao that Xing Kai had been kicked out of the house. She had to say that it was very satisfying. Because Grandpa Xing had also been led astray before. But at least he knew to rein in at the last moment. Xing Kai is so vengeful. Now that he has been kicked out of the Xing family, I don't know what kind of trouble he will cause. Mu Qiqi was worried. Chapter 598. I'm so scared. Mu Qiqi glared at him and turned to return to their bedroom. She suddenly remembered that the ring was still in her hands. How could she give it to this man to surprise him? He was really the most cunning old fox. He actually gave her such a difficult problem. However, it seemed that she rarely took the initiative to coax that man. Taking advantage of this opportunity was just right. After Tang Yan became the team leader, he was obviously busier than before. In the past, he was called a workaholic, and she could still see him in the middle of the night. But now, Feng Shanshan clearly felt that she was the only one spending the long night alone. It was also impossible for her to devote all her time to the forensics team because she was about to take her exams. Aren't you afraid that you'll suddenly die? You work like this every day and night, and you don't even eat breakfast. You don't live long. Feng Shanshan looked at her own information and commented on the man. However, she did not know that after she went out to take out the trash, she did not close the door tightly. When Tang Yan entered the door, he heard her nagging. Feng Shanshan heard movement behind her and turned around curiously. When she saw Tang Yan behind her, she was so scared that she quickly covered her chest. Can you make a sound when you walk? You said I don't have long to live, but you didn't sleep either. Tang Yan entered the living room and started to take off his clothes. Only then did Feng Shanshan notice that there was blood on his body. Did you fight with someone? Mother Xiao bit me. Feng Shanshan asked, do you still have a good piece of land on you? Either you roll down the mountain or you get bitten. Tang Yan did not say anything. He just went to the bathroom half naked. Feng Shanshan gulped. Only then did she realize that she was infatuated again. It was mainly because Tang Yan's body was too attractive. Just his back alone was enough to make a woman's heart itch. After a while, Tang Yan came out of the shower with wet hair and the fragrance of the shower gel. Feng Shanshan leaned against the door of the bathroom and watched the man take out the hairdryer. I'll help you. Tang Yan glanced at the hairdryer and then handed it to Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan took over the heavy responsibility and made Tang Yan lower his head. You always seem to be injured. It's just a minor injury. Feng Shanshan raised her head and tried her best to touch Tang Yan's hair. It was so black and soft. It was so unfair. Has the case been solved? There's still one last thing missing. Tang Yan did not go into detail because he knew that Feng Shanshan was about to take the exam. There was no need to be distracted by this kind of thing. Then, why did you come back? According to your personality, you won't stop until you find evidence. Hearing this question, Tang Yan raised her head and looked at Feng Shanshan. Because I want to sleep with you. Feng Shanshan was stunned. Are you done? Feng Shanshan was about to answer, but Tang Yan had already snatched the hairdryer away. Without waiting for her to speak, Tang Yan carried her by the waist and placed her on the sink in the bathroom. In addition, Feng Shanshan was already wearing a long dress, so it was very convenient for her to do things. So, during the whole process, she could not say a word. Her mouth was sealed tightly by Tang Yan. Not only that, if you sleep with a man who has a huge difference in physical strength, you will only be controlled by him in all kinds of ways. There is no chance for you to say no. Just like that, Feng Shanshan was ravaged for the entire night. It was not until early in the morning that Tang Yan let her go. There was only one thought in her mind before she fell asleep. Could it be that she was this man's way of relieving stress? The next morning, when Feng Shanshan woke up from her bed, Tang Yan was no longer at home. This man ran away after sleeping with her. Although the two of them were in a relationship, and she did not expect Tang Yan to care about her, after so many times last night, would it kill him to care about her today and ask if she was feeling unwell? Feng Shanshan forced herself to get up. When she walked out of the house, she saw Tang Yan leaning against the car door. He had not left yet. Get in the car. I don't want you to send me off, Feng Shanshan said angrily. I was too ruthless last night. I couldn't control myself. After saying that, Tang Yan opened the car door for Feng Shanshan to enter. When I wasn't around, or when I didn't mention this matter, who did you look for when you had such a big need? I haven't touched another woman since I took office, Tang Yan answered as he drove. When did you take office? Don't tell me it was last month. 2 or 3 years, Tang Yan replied. After hearing this answer, Feng Shanshan was satisfied. She closed her eyes and rested in the car. However, when they were about to reach the school gate, Feng Shanshan saw that there were more people, so she said to Tang Yan, "Leave me here. I don't want to cause any criticism." Tang Yan did not listen to her and sent her to the school gate. Many people in the school saw it, but Feng Shanshan had to get out of the car. You win. Feng Shanshan pretended not to see anything under everyone's surprised gazes and went straight to her faculty. However, the rumors had spread just like that. Who was the man who sent Feng Shanshan just now? Has Feng Shanshan's taste changed? This man is really attractive. His cross-country riding and his tall figure are too tempting. He's a walking hormone. This time, he's much better than the weakling last time. One look and you can tell that he's strong in that aspect. Feng Shanshan is dating again. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes when she heard this. Dating my ass. Tang Yan was a stinky man who did not know how to be gentle with women. Whoever got involved with him would be unlucky. Fortunately, Mu Chichi was not there. Otherwise, if Mu Chichi knew that Tang Yan sent her to school, she would definitely say that she was a virgin. In fact, Mu Chichi and Xing Xiao had just arrived at the hospital. After Grandpa Xing returned to the hospital yesterday, he had been in a deep sleep. Until now, he had not woken up. The doctor said that this was normal. He was stimulated when he went home yesterday and his brain did not get any rest. Seeing Grandpa Xing lying on the bed, Mu Chichi sighed. He wants to see you and sleep. How can there be such a good thing? Xing Xiao held Mu Chichi's little fist and rubbed it gently. If you're in a hurry, go to Xingting first. No need, Mu Chichi replied. Since I'm already here, I have to say a few words. The old man has finally done something right. I have to praise him face to face. You naughty girl, you're still so annoying, Grandpa Xing said to Mu Chichi when he woke up. You don't want to see me? Then, I'll leave. Chichi. Grandpa Xing called out to Mu Chichi. Take good care of eighth brother. I know that in this world, only you can make eighth brother willing to do anything for you, even if it's his life. But, he's my baby. You have to cherish him. What's your baby about him? He's my baby. Mu Chichi sat beside the old man's bed and answered. Chapter 599. Mu Chichi had the feeling that the old man was saying his last words. You have to be healthy for at least 2 years if you want to wait for our little carrot. Otherwise, why would I show you? Mu Chichi pretended to be tsundere. Old Xing smiled and raised his hand with difficulty. Go. I know you have to go to class. Mu Chichi looked up at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao winked at her. Then I'm leaving. You stay with him. Xing Xiao nodded and stroked his little one's hair before letting her go. Seeing that they were still so affectionate, old Xing took the initiative to admit his mistake. When you first fell in love with this girl, I thought you were just fooling around. After all, you are not serious about anything and have never put your heart into any woman. But later on, you actually abandoned your family for the sake of a little girl. Only then did I know that the Xing family could have such an affectionate child. You are not like anyone and it makes me feel defeated. I really wanted to train you, but I failed in the end. You are my most beloved grandson. Even if I used to hate you, it doesn't change the fact that you are the person I want to be close to the most. Eighth brother, promise me one last thing. Xing Xiao held the old man's hand at that. If you can get through it, I will come to accompany you often. If you can't, I will hate you directly. At that, Grandpa Xing said weakly, Doctor, call the doctor. Xing Xiao got up and was about to move when the door suddenly opened. Mu Qiqi was standing at the door with the doctor. Why are you back? I felt that something was wrong with Grandpa's words. I was worried, so I called the doctor to make sure he is fine before leaving. Chief Xing, please wait outside. The doctor quickly responded. Xing Xiao nodded and went outside with Xiao Qi. Mu Qiqi saw that Xing Xiao did not say a word and knew that the man was very concerned and worried. Don't worry. It's fine. Although I don't like him, he has to be alive to continue making me hate him. Still saying one thing and meaning another. Mu Qiqi did not expose him. She simply held his hand and waited with her man. About 10 minutes later, the doctor came out and said to the two of them, Fortunately, you found it early. It's not a big deal. But remember, you can't be agitated anymore. You must rest in the hospital. It was only because the old man heard what Xing Xiao said that his desire to live was so strong. Mu Qiqi breathed a sigh of relief and said, I can go to school without worry. Xing Xiao put his arms around Mu Qiqi's waist and kissed her on the forehead. Go. Since you're so sensible, I'll reward you tonight. Mu Qiqi smiled and left the hospital with a peace of mind. When Xing Xiao returned to the ward and saw the old man leaning against the bed, he slowly accepted that the old man was no longer the old man who could fight 300 rounds with him. I got my life back. A doctor brought by Qi, said Xing Xiao. That girl is a blessed person. A grandson who left the Xing family is still a grandson. I will attend the state banquet on New Year's Eve. Is it not worth being happy and proud that I have a new way out? After hearing Xing Xiao's words, the old man looked at him in shock. Of course it's worth it. Then live well. Only then will you be able to see more. Having said that, Xing Xiao turned and left the hospital. Su Che had already arranged for the butler to be transferred to Jianchuan. It would be best if the old man could see it. Huang Yao then made an announcement to the public that Xing Kai would be kicked out of the company. He was the second crown prince of Huang Yao, but now he had ended up like this. It was really sad. Of course, the Xing family could not announce Xing Kai's evil deeds to the public. Even if there were many speculations, Huang Yao did not give any response. Now, the burden of Huang Yao completely fell on Xing Bowen's shoulders. But he was loyal and righteous. Could he really do well in the business world? When Mu Qiqi arrived at school, it was already the second class in the morning. Seeing her late, Feng Shanshan could not help but ask, It seems that you really don't want to compete with me. How can you just skip such an important class? For me, there is something more important than this. Mu Qiqi put down her bag and said, I can't afford to offend the son of a high-ranking official. What do you think I should do? I heard a lot about you on the way here. Why? Did Officer Tang send you to school early? I fell down yesterday. I begged him for a long time before he was willing to help me. And you still want to poke at me? Feng Shanshan said angrily. With his EQ, do you think he would take the initiative to do such a thing? You live next door. Maybe you have already made some progress, but you don't want to tell me. Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Qiqi strangely. How could she say that she did not have a sharp eye? It's not what you think, Feng Shanshan said angrily. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she smiled and did not continue asking. Feng Shanshan was a stubborn person. Even if you wanted to ask her, you would not be able to get any results unless you could find evidence against her. How is the case now? You have missed too many details. I have no desire to tell you at all. Feng Shanshan blinked proudly. You can go and see for yourself tonight. Mu Qiqi nodded. After school, they went to the police station together. At this time, the professor was holding a sharp knife and was extracting fingerprints and DNA. Have you found the murder weapon? Is Xiao Yu's mother the murderer? She hoped that it was her, but she was covering up for her lover, the professor answered Feng Shanshan. Isn't she devoted to Buddhism? That's why people are so strange. She was unwilling to be lonely, so she found a lover, but she opposed her daughter and Chen Qiao being together. On the night of the quarrel, Xiao Yu saw her and her lover having an affair. After that, Xiao Yu went to Chen Qiao and wanted to expose this matter. In order to keep her daughter forever, she worked with her lover to knock out her daughter and Chen Qiao. Then, they tattooed and dismembered their bodies. Then, they dumped the bodies. What about the cellar and the temple on the mountain? The cellar was the first place where the bodies were dismembered. As for the temple, it was built by Mrs. Xiao's lover. They became friends because of Buddhism. They had their rendezvous there because it was hidden enough. As for the murals in the temple, Mrs. Xiao painted them to curse her ex-husband. Chapter 600. The case is solved. It will be easier for that kid to lead the team. I can rest assured now. The professor put down the weapon in his hand and heaved a sigh of relief. Feng Shanshan suddenly understood why Tang Yan had been working day and night these past few days. It turned out that he was trying to build up his prestige in the team. Officer Tang has always been very capable. Mu Qiqi smiled. Whether it was leading the team, investigating the case, or his attentiveness and strength, Tang Yan's performance during this period of time was very trustworthy. Captain Tang is treating everyone to a drink tonight, the team analyst shouted happily. You two are going too. The professor raised his eyebrows at them. You don't want to drink. Just eat something. Consider it giving him face. Of course, why not? Feng Shanshan said. She had been tortured last night. Of course, she wanted to have a good meal with that person. Just take it as wishing you all a smooth exam in advance. Don't fail. Soon, the group set off for the hotel. The forensics team sat together, while the rest of the team sat at another table. They were all men, so they might not think highly of a woman's alcohol tolerance. Captain Tang, welcome to the criminal investigation team. Everyone, let's have a toast. Seeing this, Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. If I had known, I would have gone back to sleep. Mu Qiqi also said, I've already called Xiao Xiao. The family car will be here soon. If you leave, what about me? Feng Shanshan pointed at her own nose and asked. Don't you live next door to Captain Tang? I'm looking for him. With that, Mu Qiqi smiled, revealing her dimples. Feng Shanshan was stunned. She turned around and looked at the next table. Tang Yan was drinking, but he did not show any signs of being drunk. No one could tell how high his alcohol tolerance was. Captain Tang, you really don't have a girlfriend. Don't tell me you have a mistress and didn't let us know. The team members started to jeer. That's right. Captain Tang, if you really don't have one, we can introduce her to you. I know many beautiful women around me. How can a man not have a woman around him? Don't you think so? My current interest is investigating cases, Tang Yan answered them without a trace. Tang Yan answered them without a trace. So, all of you better put away your petty thoughts. TSK, TSK. Captain Tang, are you that? Everyone looked at him in confusion and shock. Could it be that Captain Tang, who was not close to women, was gay? Hearing this, Feng Shanshan could not help but sneer. If he was gay, there would be no man in the world. After all, he had worked so hard last night. No, Tang Yen answered straightforwardly. That's good. You scared us to death. Soon, Mu Chichi's family drove the car to the entrance of the hotel, and Mu Chichi quickly said goodbye to everyone. She was going home to rest. Feng Shanshan was the only woman left at the banquet. I'm going home too. Feng Shanshan really couldn't stand staying with a group of men, so she said to the professor. The professor glanced at Tang Yen and found that he was indifferent. He gave up and said to her, "Be careful on the road." I understand. Feng Shanshan got up from her seat. She didn't say anything to Tang Yen and went out to hail a taxi. However, when she got home, she realized that the keys were with Tang Yen today. If only he had known, he wouldn't have tried to act tough. Now that he was in a world of ice and snow, he could only wait outside the door. It was not Captain Tang's fault. After all, she was the one who said that she didn't have the keys. However, it was winter, the coldest season. Feng Shanshan waited outside the door for half an hour and couldn't stand it anymore. She could only call Tang Yen. Can't you come back soon? The keys are with you. Okay. Tang Yen nodded. I'm so cold. I'm driving. Tang Yen hung up after saying that. Driving? Didn't he drink? Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan was worried until she saw Tang Yan's off-road vehicle appear in front of her. When she saw Tang Yan get out of the car, she said, "You're a law enforcement officer. How dare you drink and drive? Who told you that I drank?" Tang Yan asked in return. "Just now, I drank plain water," Tang Yan replied. "Don't run away by yourself next time. I asked you to make the keys, but you're too lazy to do it. Who am I to you? Do I have to have the keys to your house?" Feng Shanshan snorted. "You're really not likable at all. Other than being strong in bed, I wonder if your ex is blind." "She's not blind. She's just dead." Hearing the word dead, Feng Shanshan was stunned. Was Tang Yan going to tell her story? However, before Feng Shanshan could react, Tang Yan went to take his luggage and went out. "I'm going to leave for a few days. You take the exam by yourself." "Where are you going?" "There's a case that they asked me to investigate together." "I'm going to help them now," Tang Yan replied. "Are you the only one in the team going?" "Only me." Tang Yan did not say how dangerous this matter was, nor did he say anything else. Anyway, Feng Shanshan felt that this man had nothing to do with her, so she did not ask too much. What did it have to do with her? However, after Tang Yan drove away, Feng Shanshan thought to herself, was that man so fierce last night because he knew that he was going to leave today? Thinking of this possibility, Feng Shanshan's face turned red. Late at night, Banyan Courtyard. After Papa Sheng and Mama Sheng heard about old Master Sheng, they sighed deeply, especially Mama Sheng. Although she used to hate old Master Sheng, after knowing that he had gone through so many twists and turns, she finally calmed down. He deserved it after suffering so much. "I just didn't hear from you that Xing Kai has become like that. It's really sad. Now, only third brother is supporting the family. It's hard on him." Papa Xing sighed. "Dad, do you want to go back?" "Of course not. I prefer my current job. I live for myself." Papa Xing quickly waved his hand. "I just think that third brother is soft and second brother is strong. One day, he will stir up trouble again. Even you can see it." "How can I not see it?" Mama Xing chuckled. Alright, let's rest. Don't delay the couple. Mama Xing patted Papa Xing's shoulder. For so long, perhaps because she was afraid of seeing some inappropriate scenes, Mama Xing rarely walked outside after she returned to her room. Because she knew her son's personality. He wanted to hug and kiss for no reason. Mom, you're quite self-aware. Isn't it because you always have no scruples in front of me? Mu Chichi glared at him. Xing Xiao grabbed Mu Chichi and sat on his lap. I told you in the morning that there will be a reward when we go home tonight. I don't want your reward. This is a reward for yourself. Mu Chichi snorted. Chapter 601. Are you serious? Mu Chichi saw that he had loosened the buttons on his shirt and quickly became defensive. There are other people at home. If you are talking about Dad and Mom, they won't come out, ooh. Before she could finish her sentence, Mu Chichi was completely sealed by a kiss. When the man's beautiful chest muscles were exposed, she immediately surrendered. Who could be immune to a beautiful body? Especially Mu Chichi. She fell for Xing Xiao's trick. But during the process, Mu Chichi still felt very embarrassed, so she did not let the man take off her clothes. The two of them also suppressed their voices and could only grit their teeth and endure the whole time. But the more they did this, the more excited Mu Chichi felt. When they were done, she leaned into Xing Xiao's arms and sighed. I can't look at this sofa directly in the future. I'll get a new one tomorrow. I'll let you experience it differently every time. Mu Chichi said, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm going back to my room to take a shower. Xing Xiao smiled. He was still as dangerous and evil as before. He was only a man in his 30s, but now he was more mature and reserved. Mu Chichi was about to move when Xing Xiao carried her. Let's continue in the room. It's good that the old man can be healthy, right? Who cares about him? Mu Chichi hugged Xing Xiao's neck. This man was still so awkward and duplicitous. The old man went to the gates of hell again in the morning. But fortunately, he came back. However, when he thought of how every time he was seriously ill, Xing Xiao was always by his side. Even the little girl he hated the most, Mu Chichi, was also running around for his sake. He felt that he had really let down the Xin family, especially Grandpa Xin. Perhaps he had really died several times, so he had a new understanding of life. In the past, he was too obsessed with power. Now that he thought about it, it was still the happiest thing to have children and grandchildren around him. Another thing that touched Grandpa Xin was that Xing Xiao had also transferred the butler to this hospital. When he was free, he could visit his old friend. Now, he completely handed over the matters of Huang Yao to Xing Bowen. Although third brother did not seem to be a good businessman, who knew the future? In Huang Yao's office, Xing Bowen was thinking about cashing out Xing Kai's shares. But Xing Kai was a major shareholder after all. His private assets could not take away Xing Kai's shares. President, I think you can call the chairman, the secretary suggested. It's a good thing that the shares have returned to the chairman. It's not up to us to decide who will take over. It still depends on Xing Kai's plans. After all, the shares are his. With all due respect, he might retaliate, the secretary reminded Xing Bowen. I'll call someone first, Xing Bowen said. Although he did not want to see Xing Kai again, the matter of the shares had to be settled. At this moment, Xing Kai was still calming down in the Gu family. He had nothing left except for the shares of Huang Yao. At noon, Xing Bowen called to ask about the shares and wanted to know what his plans were. In that instant, Xing Kai only had the most vicious thought in his mind. He was rehearsing how he would take revenge on the Xing family 1,000,000 times. Thinking that he must become the owner of that place in the future, Xing Kai answered Xing Bowen directly, I want to retain my shareholders' rights and interests. I don't need to cash out. Is it interesting? Xing Bowen asked Xing Kai. It's not up to you to decide whether it's interesting or not. President Xing, this matter is not over yet. After that, Xing Kai hung up. At this time, Gu Xiling walked behind Xing Kai and said, in 2 days, Grandpa will bring you to meet some people. Kai, we can still make a comeback. Xing Kai turned around and held Gu Xiling's hand. At this time, only you will still be by my side and never leave me. So, you have to prove to me that I, Gu Xiling, did not marry the wrong man. We will settle the score with the Xing family slowly. Hatred was the best way to make people grow. Xing Kai saw the gap between him and Xing Xiao. But one day, he would let Xing Xiao know how he had walked step by step toward success. Tang Yan left for 4 whole days. There was no phone call or message from him. There was no news at all. Feng Shanshan went to class and took her exams. After class, she went home. After Xiao Yu's dismemberment case, she did not go to the forensics laboratory again. Her wish to surpass Mu Qiqi in the exams was real. Although she did not think that Mu Qiqi would try her best, she even suspected that Mu Qiqi purposely stayed behind her every time she took the exams. She wanted to keep a low profile and not stand out. This was a kind of ability. On the day of the exams, her classmates suggested going out for a gathering. In fact, there was only half a year left in the second year. Mu Qiqi did not know any other classmates except for Feng Shanshan. Of course, although Feng Shanshan knew them, their relationship was not good. Actually, everyone was curious why Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan, who were enemies, got along so well. They used to be enemies. Are you going? Feng Shanshan asked Mu Qiqi. The night is long. I have to go out to spend some time. It's a long night for you. I have people waiting for me at home. Mu Qiqi did not hesitate to attack Feng Shanshan. Why? Is Officer Tang not home? I don't know where he went. Feng Shanshan shrugged. Can't you restrain yourself from being so heartless? Do you want to die by calling someone? Someone had to pick up the call. All right, have fun tonight. I'm going home. There was nothing else in Mu Qiqi's mind except for Xing Xiao. Then, when Mu Qiqi was about to get up, she received a call from the professor. She thought that there was another murder case, but the professor called to ask about Feng Shanshan's whereabouts. Because Feng Shanshan's phone could not be reached. Feng Shanshan thought for a while and picked up the call. Tang Yan said that the key is with you, so I called you. Did I disturb you? Feng Shanshan was speechless. Was it really good to let the professor know about this? Professor, Officer Tang and I are neighbors. I know. He told me. I'm going to his house to pack some clothes for him. I wonder if it's convenient for you to give me the key. What happened to him? He was shot by a gunman and injured on his left shoulder. He's in the hospital now, explained the professor. Feng Shanshan was dumbfounded when she heard that. Shanshan. I'll go get it. I'll go. Tell me which hospital he's in. Feng Shanshan took the initiative to take the task. That's even better. It saves me the trouble of making another trip. Then, the professor told her the address of the hospital Tang Yan was in. Feng Shanshan hung up and quickly chased after Mu Qiqi. Send me home. It's urgent. Chapter 602. When they arrived at Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan's courtyard, Feng Shanshan rushed out of the car. Seeing that they were so anxious, Su Che said to Mu Qiqi, we have to wait, right? Mu Chi-Chi immediately laughed. Su-Che, you really understand me more and more. Who else could make Feng Shanshan so anxious? She seemed to be carefree all day long, but her actions at this moment had completely exposed her inner thoughts. In less than 10 minutes, Feng Shanshan packed a bag of things and walked out of Tang Yan's house. She found Mu Chi-Chi's car was still parked outside. Where? Give you a ride? Feng Shanshan gritted her teeth. This person was definitely doing it on purpose. It's rush hour right now. By the time you get a cab, it'll be half an hour later. Can you endure such torture? If Tang Yan had not driven the car out, she would not have to ask Mu Chi-Chi for help. Unable to overcome her worries, Feng Shanshan carried her backpack and got into Mu Chi-Chi's car. You're collecting things that belong to men. To be precise, the place you just entered is a man's home. You already know the answer. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes at her. Don't you have the keys to Officer Tang's house? What are you talking about? He's injured and still lying in the hospital. Can't you hurry up? Feng Shanshan was furious. Mu Chi-Chi smiled when she heard that. You should have been so straightforward earlier. We're almost at the entrance of the hospital. Su-Che's driving skills were not just for show. He was very fierce. Mu Chi-Chi had seen it once. Was today the second time? When they arrived at the hospital, Feng Shanshan immediately jumped out of the car and went straight to the inpatient department. Wait for me for a while. After all, Officer Tang is someone I know. I'll go and visit him, Mu Chi-Chi said to Su-Che. Then, she got out of the car and chased after Feng Shanshan. When she arrived at the door of the ward, there was no one else. Feng Shanshan calmed down for a moment before knocking on the door. Soon, Tang Yan's deep voice came from the room. Please come in. Feng Shanshan pushed the door open and entered. Her heart sank when she saw Tang Yan's entire upper body wrapped in gauze. Tang Yan did not expect Feng Shanshan to come. He was stunned for a second and said to her, Have a seat. I brought you some clothes and toiletries. No, I won't be staying here for long, Tang Yan replied calmly. I don't think I need these. Where's the professor? Feng Shanshan asked when she saw Tang Yan standing there alone. I told him to go back. He keeps nagging at me. It's very annoying. So, no one took care of you. Tang Yan understood the meaning behind her words and said, I'm used to it. What she means is that she can stay. I'm afraid Officer Tang didn't understand what she meant. At this moment, Mu Chi-Chi rushed into the ward and smiled at the two of them. You're here too. A certain someone hurried home to pack your things and rushed over. That's why I followed. Mu Chi-Chi smiled. Are you going to die if you don't say anything? Feng Shanshan was a little embarrassed. The two of them were just bedmates. She should not have crossed the line. However, she heard that he was injured and knew that he had no relatives. That was why she had possessed the Mary Sue. But now, she felt that he did not need it. I've sent the things to you. You should rest well. I'll take your car back. After Feng Shanshan said that to Tang Yan, she gritted her teeth and said to Mu Chi-Chi. It doesn't matter. Mu Chi-Chi shrugged. Tang Yan glanced at Feng Shanshan subconsciously. He did not say anything and did not ask her to stay. When the two of them were about to leave, Tang Yan texted Feng Shanshan. I'm hungry. When Feng Shanshan saw the text, she actually laughed. But Mu Chi-Chi did not see it for a moment. Send me to the class reunion, Feng Shanshan said to Mu Chi-Chi. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Feng Shanshan suspiciously. She felt that she was suspicious. Actually, you're with Officer Tang, right? Feng Shanshan was speechless. Although the two of you acted as if there was nothing going on, I could smell the same scent coming from the two of you. There was also a very strong adultery. You can tell. Why are you still playing with me? Feng Shanshan glared at Muchichi. You're so free. How far have you progressed? Far from you and your Xingde CEO. We're just enemies. Let's not talk about feelings. Are you satisfied with the answer? Can you let me get out of the car now? Feng Shanshan was about to push the door open. However, Muchichi still said something. You're alone, and he's also alone. If the two of you are together, be good companions. After all, he's in a high-risk job. He might lose his life on the front line one day. If you really want to have a result, don't waste too much time. Otherwise, it'll be too late for regrets. Love doesn't wait for anyone. You're always preaching. It's really annoying. Of course, Feng Shanshan was just saying it. With Muchichi to control her, she felt that she had one more sister. Muchichi smiled and did not continue. Aren't you leaving? I'm going home too, okay? After all, she had not thought of a way to give away her ring. Feng Shanshan got out of the car and closed the door. Then, she quickly ran back to the hospital. Standing at the door of the ward, she bent down and asked Tang Yan, "What do you want to eat?" Tang Yan looked at her calmly. After a long while, he said, "You." This time, the joint investigation was related to drugs. Those gangsters were outlaws and they were armed. He was shot in the shoulder while trying to save a pregnant woman. Blood splashed on his face. He had fought with death so many times, but he had never been afraid. Anyway, he was alone. Saving one was one. Even if he had to sacrifice himself, it was not a loss. However, at that moment, his mind thought of Feng Shanshan's face. This bad woman not only did all kinds of bad things, but she also stole his heart. When Feng Shanshan heard that, she looked at Tang Yan and Tang Yan looked back at her. Their eyes met. In fact, they knew very well that once they were involved in something, they could not let it go. When Muchichi returned home, Xing Xiao was taking a shower. Seeing that perfect figure in front of her, Muchichi tried hard to control herself. Su Che took you for a ride. It was quite fun, huh? Hearing that magnetic voice, Muchichi felt her whole body go numb. She instantly jumped onto Xing Xiao. I'm happy for Feng Shanshan. Are you happy when your enemy is happy? Xing Xiao held her little butt and shook his head helplessly. Some people seem to be enemies. Muchichi hugged Xing Xiao's neck. Officer Tang is a hero, right? Feng Shanshan is also half a beauty, so we're a good match. Then, what am I in your heart? Xing Xiao could not help but tease the little one. Muchichi thought for a moment and answered seriously, Glory. Chapter 603. Muchichi hung on Xing Xiao's body and said, "Help me take it off." In Xing Xiao's eyes, Muchichi was a completely spoiled little thing. However, she would only show such a naive look in front of Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao was willing to dote on her. After the shower, he said to the little thing, "I'll be home late these days. You're on holiday. Be more obedient at home, okay?" What happened to Zhongting? I met some malicious competitors, but it's not a big deal, Xing Xiao replied. I've never failed in the business world. This was the confidence that Xing Xiao should have. Muchichi kissed him on the cheek and said, "Then don't throw Su Che at me. I'll go to the police station and think of a way myself. I'll only be at ease if Su Che follows you. Suspecting your man, huh?" I've never doubted you. I trust you more than anyone else. However, worrying is another matter. I can't control it. Xing Xiao carried Muchichi and brought her out of the bathroom. Did you put honey on your mouth? However, what Muchichi did not know was that Xing Xiao was not dealing with some rich second-generation tycoon. Every one of his opponents now had an unimaginable background. The hospital was especially quiet late at night. The professor was supposed to come, but Tang Yan refused to see him. If he came, he would not be able to rest well. Tang Yan only knew that he had a nurse to take care of him. It was more useful than being an uncle in the hospital. The professor thought about it and felt that what Tang Yan said made sense, so he did not disturb him and let him rest well. Feng Shanshan looked at the man lying on the bed and thought, this man is full of merits. Feng Shanshan was lying by the bed. When Tang Yan woke up and saw this woman, he felt at ease for no reason. He was used to being alone for half his life. He had never thought that there would be someone who would make him so worried. Feng Shanshan felt that someone was watching her, so she propped herself up and looked at Tang Yan. Where does it hurt? Tang Yan shook his head and said, the moment the bullet pierced my shoulder, I only thought of one thing. What? It would be great if I could sleep with you again. Feng Shanshan was speechless. In the future, if anyone said that this man had no EQ, she would be angry with them. This man was so good at flirting. When you're better. You can't sleep here. You should go back. Tang Yan looked at Feng Shanshan and said seriously, I don't need you to stay by my side. Do you think I want to? Where do you expect me to get a taxi in the middle of the night? Are you sure you want me to go back alone? Feng Shanshan was angry for no reason. This man had just messed you up, and now he was pouring a bucket of cold water on you. Is it because you can't go, or do you not want to go? Is there a difference? Feng Shanshan asked. Tang Yan was stunned and did not speak for a long time. After a long time, he moved half of his bed and said, come up. Feng Shanshan looked at the wounds on his body and really did not dare to lie with him. As usual, I'll sleep on the sofa. You don't have to worry about me. This girl had a stubborn temper, and she would explode at the slightest touch. In the past, she used to go out and fool around, and she even had a rich second-generation boyfriend. In fact, she even had an abortion. She had done something that most girls did not dare to try. She should be the object of men's play, and they would definitely avoid her when they got married. However, for some reason, the more Feng Shanshan was like this, the more Tang Yan wanted to hold her in his palm, hurt her, and *ck her hard. However, the more he thought about it, the more he could not force Feng Shanshan, because once she found out about his feelings, she might run away without a care. Tang Yan looked at Feng Shanshan lying on the sofa and curled up into a ball. He did not force her, but looked at her naughty face for a long time. She really needed to be taught a lesson. The next day, the first day of the holiday. Muchichi just wanted to know what was going on in the hospital, so she went to the hospital early in the morning and bought breakfast for the two of them. When Feng Shanshan saw her in the ward, she had just woken up from the sofa. My Mrs. Xing, it's only 7:00 in the morning. Aren't you here too early? I'm afraid that you'll be hungry. Aren't you grateful? Muchichi winked at her. Anyway, there are no cases at the station now, and we're on vacation. Isn't it good for me to come and see you earlier? You're here to see me make a fool of myself, aren't you? Feng Shanshan combed her hair with her hand. At the side, Tang Yan sat on the hospital bed and looked at the two of them. Go back. Uncle will come later. So, you were here last night. Muchichi smiled. Look at you. You don't look like someone who can keep watch at night. You don't know how to take care of people at all. You know. After saying that, Feng Shanshan went to the bathroom to wash her face. Then I'm really leaving. Okay. Tang Yan nodded lightly. Looking at the two of them, as if nothing had happened, Mu Chichi suddenly became curious. So, when she left the hospital with Feng Shanshan, Mu Chichi asked, "Now, no matter how I look at Captain Tang, I don't think he's a good man." At the mention of this, Feng Shanshan was angry. "He's a beast, a naked beast. Tell me about it." At the mention of this, Feng Shanshan was a little discouraged. Although she knew that she couldn't pursue a person's past, when she thought of how many girlfriends Tang Yan had in the past, she felt her chest tighten and very uncomfortable. He's always been an expert in love. The number of women he's slept with can't even be counted with 10 fingers. What else do you want me to say? Mu Chichi said, I really can't tell. He's a dangerous person. After saying this, Feng Shanshan nestled in the car to rest. However, the two of them were still halfway when they received a call from the branch office. The two of you are free now. Hurry up and come to the branch office to help. There's a new case. But now that Tang Yan was injured, who would lead the team? Mu Chichi glanced at Feng Shanshan and pressed the dark circles on her face. Go back to sleep. I'll go over. No need. I'm very energetic now. She was very energetic because of that man. Mu Chichi thought to herself. She had thought that Tang Yan was at a disadvantage when Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan were together because he looked upright and loyal. Who knew that he was also a Casanova? Now, Mu Chichi didn't know which one of them was more absurd. The two of them immediately rushed to the police station. At this time, Tang Yan was actually there. After receiving the news, he immediately rushed over. However, she saw that he was wearing a thick trench coat, so no one could tell that he was injured at all. Although his face was not good, he was full of energy. Did this person not want to live? Feng Shanshan was resentful and angry, but she didn't know how to vent it because she and Tang Yan had nothing to do with each other. Chapter 604. Let's go to the crime scene first, Tang Yan ordered the team. We'll tell you how the body was found on the way. Captain Tang, the murder happened in the Yi family's factory. Which Yi family? Tang Yan frowned. Yi Xingtian, the Yi family. Mu Chichi was stunned when she heard that. Yi Xingtian used to be Papa Mu's good friend. She still remembered that every time he visited the Mu family, he would bring his son, Yi Jingqing. Yi Jingqing liked Mu Tongxue a lot. Are these recent murders all targeting rich families? The team members couldn't help but complain. Cut the crap. Let's get to work, Tang Yan said coldly. Feng Shanshan did not know if he really regarded investigating the case as more important than his life, or if he was just putting on a show. Was his body really not that important to him? Feng Shanshan was a little annoyed, but she did not show it on her face. Mu Chichi, on the other hand, had a complicated look in her eyes. Feng Shanshan did not want to focus on Tang Yan anymore, so she asked Mu Chichi, what expression? I don't know, Mu Chichi explained. It's just that the Yi family started their business in the fashion industry and had a good relationship with the Mu family. I often met them when I was young. So she's your old acquaintance. Speaking of the Mu family, did you really leave your sister in the slums? Feng Shanshan's gossipy heart was ignited. What else can I do? I can't kill her, Mu Chichi replied. All in all, your life is full of drama. It's just that you haven't seen her for a year and a half. Don't you want to know how she is now? Mu Chichi shook her head. Mu Tongshua's incident was a long time ago. She did not want to recall it. But someone insisted on helping her recall it. When they arrived at the Yi family's factory, the police had already cordoned off the area where the body was found. At this time, the young master of the Yi family walked to Mu Chi-Chi and said, "Chi-Chi, it's been a while." Mu Chi-Chi looked up and saw a man with a sunny face. She said, "Brother Jingqing. It's me. I just came back. I didn't expect you to be a forensic doctor." That man was about 24 or 25 years old. He was dressed very meticulously. It could be seen that he was a very tasteful person. His face was also very handsome. He was wearing a black sweater and a beige retro trench coat. He looked like a gentleman and noble. "It's just a joke," Mu Chi-Chi answered casually. "We haven't seen each other for many years. It's been 4 years. I've been away from Jianchuan for 4 years. It's only when I came back that I found out that the Mu clan has undergone such a huge change. Even Tangxue has disappeared. Young Master Yi, I'm sorry to interrupt your reunion. But I still want to ask you about the specific situation." Tang Yan walked up to them and said to Yi Jingqing. "No problem. Chi-Chi, let's talk another day. I'll call you and treat you to a meal." Feng Shanshan watched the Yi family leave with Tang Yan. She turned to Mu Chi-Chi and asked, "Are you sure you want to have dinner with him?" Mu Chi-Chi shook her head. "He has always liked Mu Tangxue. He bullied me a lot because of her. He was just being polite." "The Yi family is weird," Feng Shanshan said. Feng Shanshan said, "Also, you better not tell your CEO Xing about this. Otherwise, I think he will definitely get jealous. I got goosebumps when you called him Jingqing just now. You're exaggerating. Let's go and check the body." The body was just downstairs of the staff dormitory. And judging from the appearance of the body, it was consistent with the characteristics of a fall. It seemed that it was not a complicated case. Therefore, the people in the team quickly packed up. A case like this should be reported to the police in the district. "Why did you report it to the criminal investigation team?" The police and the team complained again. It was mainly because the case looked simple. Whether it's the criminal investigation team or the ordinary criminal police, it's our fault for failing to protect the people. After saying that, Tang Yan got into his off-road vehicle. But only Feng Shanshan noticed that there was blood seeping out of his coat. Mu Chi-Chi was about to get into the police car, but Yi Jingqing stopped her. "Chi-Chi, I really want to know where Tangxue is. If you have any news about her, remember to tell me." Mu Chi-Chi smiled and did not say anything. Since he knew that she and the Mu family were in such a mess, he should know that there was no connection between her and Mu Tangxue. But the point was, why did he ask her when he knew that Mu Tangxue lived in the slums? Was there a deeper meaning behind it? Feng Shanshan saw that she was full of thoughts, so she leaned on her arm. "What are you thinking about? You look so focused." "I heard a senior say that the people from the Yi family bypassed the police in the district and reported the case to the criminal investigation team." "Why? Did you find anything?" Mu Chi-Chi shook her head. She felt that this matter was directed at her. But she could not say such a narcissistic thought out loud. Yi Jingqing had a good relationship with Mu Tangxue since they were young. Now that Mu Tangxue was being tortured by her, she did not believe that Yi Jingqing knew nothing about it. "What are you thinking about? You look so focused." "I'm thinking that you should control Officer Tang. Didn't he just get shot in the shoulder?" Mu Chi-Chi put aside her doubts for the time being and did not continue to suspect Yi Jingqing. "Do you think he will listen to me?" Feng Shanshan said impatiently. "There is no one in his heart, only the case. So, why should she take care of someone who was alive and kicking? She was just asking for trouble." Because of that, Feng Shanshan went straight to the forensics laboratory when she arrived at the entrance of the police station. Although the body was almost certain to have fallen to death, whether it was a suicide or a homicide still needed to be investigated. Tang Yen saw Feng Shanshan going to the autopsy room. At that time, their eyes met, but Feng Shanshan's eyes were cold. She did not care about Tang Yen at all. Mu Qiqi, on the other hand, kept the Yi family's matter in her heart. She had said that she would not allow anything that could threaten her safety to exist. Protecting her was equivalent to protecting Xing Xiao. Yi Jingqing clearly wanted to remind her that Mu Tangxue still existed in this world. Was he fighting for justice for Mu Tangxue? In the afternoon, Mu Qiqi went to Zhongting with a lot on her mind. When the secretary saw her deep in thought, she opened the door of Xing Xiao's office for her. CEO. Madam. Chapter 605. Mu Qiqi walked to Xing Xiao and sat on his lap quietly. What's wrong? Xing Xiao hugged her, but he did not stop his work. I went out with the criminal investigation team today and met an old acquaintance of the Mu family. When Xing Xiao heard the Mu family, he knew that it must be related to Mu Tangxue. She did not care about anything else. That person is Yi Jingqing. He used to like Mu Tangxue very much. He went abroad 4 years ago and only came back recently. He should know about the Mu family's current situation, but he still asked me about Mu Tangxue. I think he did it on purpose. Xing Xiao put down the pen in his hand and looked at Mu Qiqi. So, what are you worried about? He and Mu Tangxue bullied me before, said Mu Qiqi. What kind of bully? Xing Xiao looked at her. His eyes were sharp and deep like a deep lake. He will help Mu Tangxue to frame me, said Mu Qiqi. It's not that I still hold a grudge against him. I just feel that he's deliberately mystifying things. In fact, he has ill intentions. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and comforted her. Don't be afraid, okay? That's true. He is 24 or 25 years old now. He won't be the same as when he was young. Mu Qiqi seemed relaxed because she had someone to rely on now. However, the shadow of childhood was not something that could be gotten rid of easily. In order to comfort the little one in his arms, Xing Xiao stopped his work. He hugged her and said softly, "Tell me about your childhood, except for the parts one know. I've been so happy these 2 years. How can I remember so much?" Then, do you want me to investigate? Asked Xing Xiao. Mu Qiqi looked at her man and sighed. She leaned on Xing Xiao and said, I don't remember how old I was then. That winter, during the new year, Mu Tangxue took one of Grandpa's wristwatches and broke it. She was so anxious that she cried. At that time, Yi Jingqing was a guest in the Mu family, so he helped Mu Tangxue and put the wristwatch in my bag. Grandpa couldn't find the wristwatch, so he asked Mommy. Then, Yi Jingqing told Mommy that he saw me playing with it. What happened? In the end, I got slapped twice and was locked in my room. I spent the new year alone. What else? Xing Xiao tightened his grip on Mu Qiqi. Also, in the swimming pool at home, Mu Tangxue asked Yi Jingqing to teach her how to swim. So, she grabbed me as a demonstration and pressed me into the water. What else? Also, on Grandpa's birthday, he locked me in school. In the end, I came home late and was scolded for having sex with my classmates outside. I knelt in the living room for the whole night. That's enough. After hearing that, Xing Xiao felt that it was enough. Even so, that scum still dared to deliberately target Xiao Qi. Perhaps he just didn't want to see the sun tomorrow. Your fear of him now comes from the shadow of your childhood. But idiot, that's all in the past. You're not who you used to be. Are you afraid of being bullied? Are my people for others to bully? It was just that the sudden appearance of this person reminded him of the past. Mu Chichi thought that she certainly didn't need to be afraid. Mu Tongxue only had herself to blame for what happened today. I know, I'm not afraid. I have Captain Tang in the police force. I have you outside the police force. Go to the lounge and sleep for a while. Let's go home together after work. Xing Xiao pinched her round belly and urged her. Mu Chichi nodded and left Xing Xiao's lap. Then, she went to the lounge. What about Xing Xiao? He called the intercom. Su Che, come in. CEO. Go and investigate Yi Jingqing. Don't miss any details. If possible, find out exactly when he first had sex with a woman. It might take a few days for that level of detail, said Su Che. I can wait. When Xing Xiao said those words, there was a strong sense of danger in his tone. Since the other party came to him, he had to greet him. Did he want to stand up for Mu Tongxue? It depended on whether he was qualified to do so. Also, find out where Mu Tongxue is now. Make sure she's in our hands. Got it. It was not hard to imagine how Mu Chichi spent the past 17 years before she met him. He did not pursue the matter because Xiao Qi had undergone a major change in the past 2 years. But now, she came to him on her own accord. She was asking for it. In the afternoon, at the police station. The forensic report showed that the victim did not commit suicide. Instead, he was pushed down from the rooftop. Since it was a homicide, the case would be taken over by the Major Crimes Unit. The Yi family was very cooperative. After all, it happened in their own house. They hoped that the police could solve the case as soon as possible. Since he is Mu Chichi's old acquaintance, it should be easier for him to go to the Yi family. But Feng Shanshan shook her head. However, Feng Shanshan shook her head. Don't count on Xiao Qi for this. Her relationship with the Yi guy is definitely not good. If that's the case, we can't force her, said the professor. Just then, Tang Yan entered the laboratory with his injury. I'm here to get the autopsy report. The cause of death was a fall. But he was tied up before he died. There are different degrees of strangulation marks on his neck and wrists. The time of death was between 5 and 7 in the morning. The child was 21 years old, in the prime of his youth. He was a university graduate. As for whether he was drugged or not, we can only tell you after the autopsy. Have you informed his family? They are on the way, said Tang Yan. Then you can start with the people around the child. Tang Yan nodded and was about to leave. But when his eyes met Feng Shanshan's, he realized that she was deliberately avoiding his gaze. She even looked away. Since when did he offend this person? At 6 in the evening, a group of people went out for dinner. Tang Yan called Feng Shanshan to the door. Tell me, what's wrong? What's wrong? Feng Shanshan asked in confusion. The way you look at me and my attitude. Is it important to you how I look at you? Feng Shanshan leaned against the wall and looked at Tang Yan. You can do whatever you want. Solving the case is the most important thing. How can I stop you? The wounds on your body have opened, haven't they? Who are you trying so hard for? If you have someone in your heart, you won't be so reckless. So, Officer Tang, what do you think is wrong with my attitude towards you? Tang Yan turned around quietly and went back to the police station. Feng Shanshan did not stay at the door. She went out to look for food. She felt that she was a little pretentious, but Tang Yan's reckless way of doing things made her see a lot of things clearly. Feelings were not something that one could hope for. They were just partners in bed. Chapter 606. She was worried, but she was not in the position to care. This made Feng Shanshan very uncomfortable. In addition, Tang Yan did not care about his own body. Feng Shanshan almost exploded, especially when she saw the blood on his shoulder. After dinner, Feng Shanshan returned to the police station. Seeing that Tang Yan was eating in the station, she took a detour. However, Tang Yan reached out and pulled her to sit beside him. "What are you doing?" "Someone saw us." "They're all out," Tang Yan said. "What do you want to say to me?" "Just say it." Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. She was actually more worried about being seen by passers-by. She did not want to have anything to do with this man in public. "I know my own body. If I can't be discharged, I won't force myself," Tang Yan said in a low voice as he took a sip of coffee. So, was this his explanation? "Who cares about you?" Feng Shanshan snorted. "Don't forget that we have nothing to do with each other." Having said that, Feng Shanshan got up from the stool. Tang Yan did not stop her. He only felt that this woman was really heartless and difficult to serve. Feng Shanshan thought that Tang Yan would stay in the station that night or go straight to the crime scene without sleeping. However, when it was time to get off work, he went straight to the forensics laboratory and asked Feng Shanshan, "I'm injured and can't drive. Can you send me?" The professor looked at Feng Shanshan, and Feng Shanshan looked at the professor in confusion. The professor knew that they were neighbors, so he was so unscrupulous. "If you can't drive, you should go to the hospital. Or you can ask your subordinates to drive," Feng Shanshan refused directly. "Shanshan, this kid has sent you many times before. What's wrong with you sending him once?" "I just don't want to." Tang Yan did not say anything. He turned around and walked out. He really found his subordinates and drove the off-road vehicle home. "What's wrong with you two?" The professor was a little confused. "Weren't you good before? No matter what, you're colleagues who care for each other." "I just don't like him." Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. It was not until 10 o'clock that she went home. However, when she reached the door, she hesitated. Should she knock on the door? In the end, Tang Yan sent her a text message. "If you're not going home, at least tell me where you went. Open the door." After hesitating for a long time, Feng Shanshan still typed these two words. Tang Yan opened the door for her half-naked. The gauze on his shoulder was soaked in blood, which made Feng Shanshan very angry. "What are you angry about?" Tang Yan returned to the living room, sat on the sofa, and looked at Feng Shanshan. "I don't like cold wars, and I don't like inexplicable anger. You can make things clear. There's no need to keep mocking me. That's who I am," Feng Shanshan said bluntly. Shanshan, this was the first time Feng Shanshan heard Tang Yan call her that. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and entered the room first. She closed the door and calmed herself down. "I'm just very confused. I don't know why I'm angry at you. I knew it had nothing to do with you, but when I heard that you were injured, I ran faster than anyone else. You took a bullet yesterday and came to work today. Are you some kind of Iron Man? Aren't you afraid that others will worry about you? I'm not in any position to ask you, so I might as well keep my distance from you. At least this way, I won't be angry." After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to go to the bedroom, but when she passed by Tang Yan, he grabbed her wrist. "What you said is too complicated. I don't understand." "You." Tang Yan lowered his head and kissed Feng Shanshan's lips. He sucked on them and let go after a while. Feng Shanshan's face was red, but she could smell the medicine on Tang Yan's body. "Let go of me. If you say it in a simpler way, I can answer an important question for you." Was this an exchange? Feng Shanshan laughed self-deprecatingly, but she still simplified her meaning seriously. I want to control you, but I don't have the right to do so. I don't want to be your girlfriend, so I'm angry at myself and take it out on you. Do you understand now? I'll let you control me. I don't want the right. Isn't that weird? Feng Shanshan thought about it carefully after listening to him. Are you going to do something about it? Will you really listen? Feng Shanshan narrowed her eyes. She was a little doubtful. No, very doubtful. I'll try my best. After hearing Tang Yan's words, Feng Shanshan was in a good mood. That's what you said. Tang Yan looked at Feng Shanshan seriously. It was a tacit agreement. Then what do you want to do now? Take a shower. But it's not convenient for my hands, and I'll touch my wound. Go in, strip and wait. Feng Shanshan pushed him to the bathroom. I'll change. I'll be right there. In fact, Feng Shanshan thought that she was not involved in it. But she did not realize that at first, she just wanted a bed partner. But now, she had begun to be greedy and wanted to interfere with Tang Yan's life and care about his past. Although the two of them were not officially a couple, couldn't the people around them see that the two of them were a couple in name only? Only she was still deceiving herself. The next morning, Su Che sent news that he had searched the entire slum but could not find any news of Mu Tongxue. Although Su Che did not know who she was, he heard that she looked very similar to Mu Chichi. There's no trace of her life since a few months ago. And I'm sure that she was not taken away by the Yi family. So, Yi Jingqing thought that Xiao Qi was still hiding Mu Tongxue. Search for her, Xing Xiao ordered. Xing Xiao ordered, but investigate Yi Jingqing first. This man had made Xiao Qi suffer so much. He could not let it go just like that. Moreover, he was the one who provoked him first. Mu Chichi did not know that Xing Xiao was thinking about dealing with the Yi family. After she got up, she planned to go to the police station. You don't have to avoid Yi Jingqing. I've said it before. My woman should be able to do whatever she wants. You should go to the field when you need to, and you should go to the Yi family when you need to. If he dares to do anything to you, he will be punished 10 times or 100 times more. After listening to Xing Xiao, Mu Chichi hugged him tightly. Okay. Yesterday was just a natural reaction. But from today onwards, she would not be afraid anymore. So, she would participate in this case, and the Yi family would also go. When she arrived at the police station, the seniors in the station came to look for her. Chi-Chi, we've tried to contact the young master of the Yi family, but he's been tight-lipped. He's not willing to cooperate. We know that you used to be related to the Yi family. So, we hope that you can help us. Feng Shanshan wanted to help Mu Chichi, but Mu Chichi said, okay, I got it. Are you sure? Chapter 607. Then, I'll go with you, Feng Shanshan said excitedly. Feng Shanshan said excitedly. She was really happy because she had reached a new consensus with that man last night. Are you in a good mood today? Feng Shanshan glanced at someone in the police station and nodded. Not bad. It seems that Officer Tang is very pleasing to you. Mu Chichi smiled too. In front of outsiders, one was the captain of the criminal investigation team, and the other was an assistant. Their worlds seemed to overlap, but there was a gap in their identities. Moreover, Tang Yan was cold to women, so the people in the police station did not associate them together. Soon, they went out to the field with the seniors. Not long after, Mu Chichi was brought to Yi Jingqing's office. Chichi, this is the place. Mu Chichi nodded and took a deep breath to calm herself down. Then, she knocked on the door of Yi Jingqing's office. "Come in." Mu Qiqi pushed the door open and walked in. She did not bring any other police officers with her. She walked to Yi Jingqing's desk alone. "Can I bother you for a while?" Yi Jingqing stopped what he was doing and looked at Mu Qiqi. He nodded with a smile. "Of course. Brother Jingqing, did the police investigation cause you any inconvenience?" "Not really," Yi Jingqing replied. "Then, can you please cooperate with the police? After all, solving this case quickly can restore peace to Yi Holdings as soon as possible. Then, won't the time I see you be greatly reduced?" Yi Jingqing smiled deeply. "I was deceived by my parents when I went abroad for a few years. They said that you and your sister are living a happy life and don't need me to disturb you. So, I did not contact Tangxue for a few years. But now that I'm back, I can't find her. Do you know where she is?" He was still so strange. "Since you have been to the Mu family, you should know that a lot of things happened between me and Mu Tangxue." "I know. You even left her in the slums." Yi Jingqing continued to smile. His calm, cunning, and sinister expression was exactly the same as when he was young. "Since you know, why are you asking me for her?" Mu Qiqi looked at Yi Jingqing deeply. After all, she was not someone who could be easily frightened. On the other hand, Yi Jingqing's impression of Mu Qiqi had changed a lot. At this moment, the girl who had been meek and submissive seemed to have ceased to exist. He knew that Xing Xiao was behind Mu Qiqi, but he did not know that Mu Qiqi herself had changed so much. "You guys were the ones who dealt with him. If I don't ask you guys, who should I ask?" Yi Jingqing raised an eyebrow. "Tell me where Tangxue lives, and I will cooperate with the police. Isn't this a win-win situation? I don't know where she is right now. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. So, you don't have to threaten me with the investigation. The police don't need you. On the contrary, I want to warn you that this matter hasn't been spread yet. Your Yi Group stock hasn't been affected yet. However, it doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future. Qiqi, you have changed a lot." Yi Jingqing looked at Mu Qiqi in surprise. "I thought you would be afraid when you saw me yesterday." "Afraid?" Mu Qiqi chuckled. "Afraid of you? Shouldn't you be afraid of me?" Mu Qiqi shook her head and smiled. "In the beginning, I admit that I was a little afraid. But now, I understand that it's just because of the trauma when I was young. I don't need to be afraid of you now. Why should I be afraid of you? I heard that you were trained by Xing Xiao. Then, show me what you are capable of. Let me see what kind of student the most famous man in Jianchuan teaches. You don't deserve to mention his name." Having said that, Mu Qiqi stood up from the chair. The two of them had an unpleasant conversation. Then, Mu Qiqi walked out of Yi Jingqing's office and went to the entrance of Yi Group. "How is it?" The seniors came up to her immediately. Mu Qiqi shook her head. "Don't count on him. He threatened me." Tang Yan's face darkened when he heard Mu Qiqi's words. He told the team, "Follow the procedure. Report when necessary." Tang Yan and Xing Xiao were the same kind of people. They were protective. Since Mu Qiqi was from the police station, she was under his protection. How could a forensic doctor be threatened? Did he think he was dead? Actually, there was another reason why he protected Mu Qiqi. She was Feng Shanshan's only friend. If she was bullied, not only would Xing Xiao not agree to it, Feng Shanshan would also feel bad. "What did he threaten you with?" "Mu Tangshue's whereabouts," Mu Qiqi answered Feng Shanshan. "It seems that he really likes Mu Tangxue. I don't think you should come to this damn place." I don't know what kind of trap the young master of the Yi family is going to set for you if you stay here to investigate the case. Feng Shanshan shrugged. Tang Yan glanced at Feng Shanshan and said to Muqiqi, she's right. If Yi Jingqing wants to deal with you, he will also deal with the police. This is not good for our investigation. You're wrong. If I don't appear here, he won't give you any clues. I thought it was because of your childhood bosom brother that your CEO Xing has a rival in love. I didn't expect him to ignore you at all. Muqiqi glanced at Feng Shanshan and said, you won't understand. Yi Jingqing wanted to know where Mu Tongxue was. There was no way. She never regretted sending Mu Tongxue there. After all, Mu Tongxue had done too many evil things. How about this? The victim's parents have arrived at Jianchuan just now. They are at the entrance of the police station now. Muqiqi, go back to the police station and ask the victim's parents about the situation. This is also part of the investigation, Tang Yan said. Okay. Muqiqi did not refuse. But just when Muqiqi turned around and walked toward the police car, she heard Feng Shanshan shouting, be careful. Then, a flower pot fell beside Muqiqi's feet and was smashed into pieces. Everyone looked up at the Yi Holdings building but saw nothing. After all, it was dozens of floors high. Who would know which floor it was thrown from? But in fact, everyone knew that the flower pot was thrown at Muqiqi. If CEO Xing knows about this, Yi Jingqing's head will be smashed. Feng Shanshan snorted. I'll go with you. But when she left, she looked at Tang Yan meaningfully. Her meaning was self-evident. Try working for long hours if you dare. Try it if you don't know how to rest. Although Tang Yan did not say anything, he understood Feng Shanshan's threat. Last night, the two of them had agreed that she would take care of him and he would take care of her. Although he did not say it, he must have agreed in his heart. Chapter 608. On the way back, Feng Shanshan couldn't help but ask Muqiqi, what's the grudge between you and that Yi guy? Muqiqi snorted coldly and answered, when I was young, he teamed up with Mu Tongxue to bully me. Maybe I made Mu Tongxue disappear, so he wants to take revenge for her. Were you really that miserable when you were in the Mu family? Muqiqi glared at Feng Shanshan. Alright, I won't ask anymore. Feng Shanshan raised her hands in surrender. But your man really contributed a lot to change you into this. Aren't you going to tell him about this? It was impossible for her not to be angry when a flower pot fell on her head. But she wouldn't let Xing Xiao take revenge for such a small matter. Soon, they arrived at the police station. When they saw the deceased's parents, they felt a little upset. That was because they were an elderly couple. The old man had a head full of white hair and a stooped figure. If the old couple knew that their grandson had passed away, how heartbroken would that be? Ladies, a police officer told us to come to the police station for something. May I ask what happened to my son? Your son is Qin Yunfeng. Yes. We're in our 40s and we only have one son. We dote on him a lot. If he did anything wrong, please forgive him. He's not a bad person. Muqiqi glanced at Feng Shanshan and said, I don't like to deal with such cases. Who doesn't like it? Feng Shanshan said. Muqiqi even suspected that if the old couple knew that their son was gone, they would faint on the spot. On the other hand, Tang Yan went to look for Yi Jingqing personally. However, when Yi Jingqing saw Tang Yan, he was not polite at all. Officer, why did you send Muqiqi away? I still want to reminisce more with Qiqi. Tang Yan turned around and looked at Yi Jingqing. His tone was businesslike. Mr. Yi, you don't seem to have noticed that someone has lost his life in your building. Life is so fragile now. Yi Jingqing smiled. Officer, I thought you should be used to it. I've also heard about what happened between you and Muchichi. But I advise you not to attack Muchichi so easily before you find what you want. Otherwise, the thing you care about might suffer 10 times more than what she suffered. What do you think? Tang Yan said in a deep voice. Yi Jingqing suddenly stopped smiling and looked at Tang Yan coldly. You can investigate the case, but don't affect my business. The person died in the Yi group. As the leaders of the enterprise, you have an unshirkable responsibility. As for whether or not you are covering up for the murderer or anything else, I will personally come to you when I find out. I never thought that such a handsome officer would be interested in protecting Muchichi. That's my colleague. After that, Tang Yan walked around Yi Jingqing's office a few more times. If I have any other questions, I will come again. Yi Jingqing didn't say anything else. He just made a welcoming gesture. Tang Yan walked out of Yi Jingqing's office and asked his subordinates, "How's the investigation going?" "There's a rope that hasn't been cleaned up on the rooftop. It should be the rope used to kidnap Qing Yunfeng that night. We have asked the professor to extract the DNA on it to see if it matches Qing Yunfeng's. Also, check if there are any fingerprints of the murderer. The people from Team A found out that Qing Yunfeng is a proactive and hardworking young man. He works hard and never makes enemies with others. Team B found out that Qing Yunfeng's department is planning to be promoted. It's very likely that Qing Yunfeng did it. So, we don't know if it's because of competition. Speaking of which, we really have to say that the Yi family is really a ruthless enterprise. It takes a long time and it's tiring. They don't even treat people as human beings. Go and investigate the employees who are competing with Qing Yunfeng. The rest of you, follow me back to the police station," Tang Yan ordered. As for Yi Jingqing, he was a bit of a hindrance. Since it was a personal grudge, he felt that this matter could be solved through private channels. They got into the police car. Tang Yan sat in the back and closed his eyes. When the others saw this, they couldn't help but say, "Captain Tang, why don't you go home and rest? We will continue to follow up. We will report to you in detail if there's any progress. I will go back to the police station to rest. You guys continue." Tang Yan nodded. When the others saw that he agreed to rest, they were a little surprised. After all, Tang Yan was a famous workaholic ever since he came to the police station. But now, he was willing to rest. His teammates didn't know that Tang Yan was injured. They thought that his investigation was going smoothly. Besides, they were all men, so they didn't notice how ugly Tang Yan's face was. When they returned to the police station, the old couple was still crying in the morgue. Mu Chi-Chi and Feng Shanshan were helpless. But Tang Yan said, "You can't even handle such a small matter. Go out and let me handle it." Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. It didn't matter. However, 5 minutes after she and Mu Chi-Chi left, the old couple was comforted by Tang Yan. Then, he handed them over to the others. "Where are you going?" Feng Shanshan saw him leaving the morgue and quickly asked. Wasn't he halfway done? "Rest." Tang Yan only replied with 2 words. Feng Shanshan almost laughed out loud. Because only she knew that Tang Yan was being obedient. However, after going to the restroom, Tang Yan still planned to call someone. That was Mu Chi-Chi's family. He had never seen how smart the most famous man in Jianchuan was. When he received Tang Yan's call, Xing Xiao had just finished a video conference. Seeing that it was an unfamiliar call, he waited until it rang 3 times before officially picking up. "I'm Xing Xiao." "I'm Tang Yan." When he heard Tang Yan's name, Xing Xiao knew who the person was. However, it was strange that the call was actually on his phone. Is it about the Yi family? Xing Xiao asked Tang Yan directly. Chief Xing, you really live up to your name. Mu Qiqi was almost hit by a flower pot today. Yi is full of hostility toward her. He seems to be looking for someone. Do you know, Chief Xing? Captain Tang, you can even get my phone number without asking. How can you not know what Yi is looking for? Xing Xiao chuckled. The two men seemed to have a strong aura. Are you here to remind me? Chapter 609. Then. Thank you for reminding me, Captain Tang, Xing Xiao said in a low voice. But Captain Tang suddenly called me. I don't think it's just about Chief. There must be something else, right? It's so easy to talk to smart people. Actually, Tang Yan called not only to let Xing Xiao be more vigilant, but also to get Yi Jingqing's cooperation. Some things were private. The police could not interfere. But it was better for Xing Xiao to know what Yi Jingqing had done to Mu Qiqi than Mu Qiqi hiding it from him. I can say hello to Captain Tang the next time we meet. If Lin Mu En was a half-mature lion, then Tang Yan was definitely a mature tiger. Although their paths were different, they were both solid forces that he could get to know. Since Qi was under his command, she would need Tang Yan's care in the future. So, Xing Xiao decided to do Tang Yan a favor. After all, didn't Yi Jingqing hit his heart with a flower pot? After answering Tang Yan's call, Xing Xiao answered the intercom. Su Che. Chief. Su Che had just come back and was collecting information about Yi Jingqing. Help me do something first, Xing Xiao said. Send a visitation card to the Yi family. Okay. Su Che nodded. By the way, help me prepare something. Mu Qiqi did not know that Xing Xiao had interfered in this matter. After the old couple had cried enough, she went to the police's resting area with Feng Shanshan. Currently, the old couple was answering questions from the other police officers. Mu Qiqi looked at the old couple and felt sad. They had a son in their old age, but he was gone just like that. What hope did they have for their future? I wonder what Tang Yan said to them. Hearing Feng Shanshan's nagging, he knew that she was still worried about the future of the old couple. She was such a person. She was tough on the outside but soft on the inside. Aren't you curious about what they said, Captain Tang? Yes. Feng Shanshan nodded honestly. She also had some naughty thoughts in her mind. She wanted to go to the resting room to see Tang Yan now. Perhaps Mu Qiqi understood her expression. After all, she was experienced. So, she said to her, go ahead. I'll keep an eye on them for you. He's a veteran. Feng Shanshan chuckled. After noticing that there was no one around, she slipped into the police station's shabby break room. Tang Yan leaned on the bed and closed his eyes to sleep. Feng Shanshan approached him quietly. She was about to sit beside him, but she was startled by his voice. What are you doing here? I can't rest well either. I just want to know what you said to the old couple. Aren't you afraid that they'll commit suicide? Tang Yan closed his eyes and remained silent for a while, which made Feng Shanshan think that he had fallen asleep. But just as Feng Shanshan was about to leave, he said, life may seem flashy on the surface, but those who live in it are very fragile and vulnerable. On the other hand, those who look like they're riddled with holes and would collapse with a single strike have hearts that are even more unyielding than you can imagine. That's because they've been tempered by life and have already become resilient. When you're free, let's go and see the old couple. I've acknowledged them as my godparents. After listening to him, Feng Shanshan suddenly understood where Tang Yan's story and his deep thoughts came from. Perhaps it was because he had seen too much and experienced too much. That was why he was like this now. Do you always deal with such things like this? There are about 6 families that I'm sponsoring now. Why would I care about one more? Once you've gotten the answer you want, you can leave now. Feng Shanshan nodded and got up from the bed. Have a good rest. But when she walked to the door, the corners of her lips curled up unconsciously. Although Tang Yen had a lot of bad habits and his behavior was strange, he could really be called a hero. Even if it was not in other people's eyes, it was in her heart. At 3:00 in the afternoon, Papa Yi arrived at Yi Holdings and told Yi Jingqing that he had received Xing Zhao's visiting card. Yi Jingqing thought that Xing Zhao's importance to Mu Qiqi was not just a rumor. Father, no matter what CEO Xing's intention is, I will take good care of him. Don't worry. I know you're still holding a grudge because of Tang Xue. But now that you can't find her, you must cheer up. Even if you can offend the Xing family, don't provoke Xing Xiao. Since he came to you personally, it means that you've done something to make him unhappy. I know, Father, Yi Jingqing answered calmly. Are the police still in Yi Holdings? Yes. That employee did not commit suicide. So, before the case is solved, the police will come and go in Yi Holdings, Yi Jingqing answered. Make the necessary arrangements. The Gu family is the best example. You must cooperate with the police. Don't cause any scandal and embarrass Yi Holdings. I know, Father, Yi Jingqing said nervously. Also, don't offend that Officer Tang from the criminal investigation team. He is not a kind person. He will fight with you until the end. Unexpectedly, Tang Yen was so famous. Don't worry, Father. After that, Papa Yi left Yi Holdings quickly. After all, he had left the family business to his son. So, he had no reason not to trust his son. At 5:00 in the afternoon, Xing Xiao's car arrived at the entrance of Yi Holdings on time. Xing Xiao already knew that his Xiao Qi was now in the police force. Yi Jingqing immediately came out to welcome him. He seemed to be very enthusiastic. Welcome, Chief Xing. I've always heard of your name. It's my honor to meet you for the first time. You're welcome, Chief Yi. This way, please. Yi Jingqing pointed the way and led Xing Xiao into Yi Holdings. Su Che followed behind Xing Xiao to protect him. Yi Jingqing could tell that Su Che was very skillful. Even if Officer Tang were to fight with him, he would not be able to defeat him. Xing Xiao was good at finding people. Soon, they arrived at the VIP reception room of Yi Holdings. Yi Jingqing asked his secretary to prepare some tea. I wonder why you're here today, Chief Xing. Don't be nervous, CEO Yi. I'm here for a private matter. I know you're looking for Mu Tangxue. Do you have any clues? Xing Xiao went straight to the point. Yi Jingqing could not guess what Xing Xiao was going to do. So, he laughed. Could it be that the stingy Mu Qiqi told on me? Chapter 610. Look, it's just a small matter. There's no need for you to come personally. You can just give me a call. Yi Jingqing laughed. Of course, he tried to make Xing Xiao unable to see through him, but he was too inexperienced in front of Xing Xiao. Because the moment Xing Xiao came, he had already pinched the soft spot in his heart. Mu Tangxue. Until now, he had not found Mu Tangxue's whereabouts. This did not rule out the possibility that Mu Tangxue was still under Xing Xiao's surveillance. Tang Yen was right. No matter how much he hated Mu Qiqi now, he could not make things difficult for her. If Mu Tangxue was really in Xing Xiao's hands, she would definitely suffer more. And Tang Yen was not someone to be trifled with. Since it was not Mu Qiqi who told Xing Xiao about it, it must be Tang Yen. Since you're so straightforward, it's fine. I will help you find Mu Tongshua's whereabouts. Thank you very much, Chief Xing. I heard that you've just returned to China. If you need anything, you can come to Zhongting. Since we're done here, it's time for me to go. Let me send you off. With just a few words, Xing Xiao had made it clear to Yi Jingqing what he should say and show his attitude. Yi Jingqing could not handle it at all. No wonder Mu Qiqi had changed so much in 2 years. With such a powerful teacher by her side, of course, she could do whatever she wanted. And he knew that it was impossible to threaten the police and make Mu Qiqi compromise. If he wanted to find Mu Tongxue, he had to think of other ways. Threatening the police was not a long-term solution. After all, the murder happened in the staff dormitory of Yi Holdings. Xing Xiao only went in for 5 minutes. But when he left, he asked Su Che, "Is everything done?" "Don't worry, Chief." At least, he could let Yi Jingqing know what it felt like to have his heart beat faster when he went back. After Yi Jingqing sent Xing Xiao off, he returned to his office using the private elevator. But when he entered the elevator, the lights in the elevator began to flicker and the elevator began to shake. Yi Jingqing did not move. He was afraid that if he moved, the elevator would start to fall. The door could not be opened, and there was no signal in the elevator. Yi Jingqing quickly called the police. After almost half an hour, the elevator door finally opened. Yi Jingqing stood there awkwardly. He wondered if he was so unlucky because he met Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao was indeed ruthless. He was avenging Mu Qiqi for the flower pot. In the evening, when Tang Yan went to Yi Holdings again, he was told by his subordinates that Yi Jingqing was much more cooperative and polite. He also heard that Xing Xiao came in the afternoon. That was why it was a piece of cake for Xing Xiao. Any new developments? Qing Yunfeng is really a very hard-working young man, but this time, he's competing with an old employee of the Yi Group. His name is Li Jia. We've asked Li Jia about it. On the night of the incident, he was at home with the child. He has sufficient alibi, so Qing Yunfeng's death should have nothing to do with him. Anything else? Tang Yan asked. We've asked the employees of Yi Holdings. They are not allowed to go up to the rooftop. And there are no surveillance cameras up there. When the incident happened, it was early in the morning, which means anyone could have done it. I'm afraid it's very difficult to investigate without any clues. After all, Yi Holdings has thousands of employees. So, we still have to investigate Qing Yunfeng's interpersonal relationships. Also, have you found the source of the rope? Tang Yan asked as he walked to Yi Holdings. That kind of rope can be seen everywhere in Yi Holdings factories. And on the rope, there are no suspicious traces except for Qing Yunfeng's DNA. Tang Yan did not say anything more. He went to the scene again. Qing Yunfeng was tied up and thrown down from a high place. To throw a 70-kilogram man to such a place, he must be strong and tall. Moreover, he must have a certain level of cultural knowledge. At least, he must know how to counter-investigate. With these conditions, he could actually choose from the employees of Yi Holdings. So, Tang Yan went to Yi Jingqing's office again. Sorry to disturb you. What do you need this time, Captain Tang? A list of your employees and their detailed resumes, Tang Yan replied. If possible, please provide the relevant surveillance cameras. That's easy. But, I didn't know that Captain Tang knew a big shot like CEO Xing. Yi Jingqing's words were obviously sarcastic. However, Tang Yan did not respond. Instead, he said, if CEO Yi could cooperate earlier, everything would be simple. I'll ask someone to prepare what you want later. Thank you. Having said that, Tang Yan was about to leave, but Yi Jingqing stopped him. I wonder if it's illegal to restrict someone's freedom of movement. Tang Yan, of course, knew what he was talking about. So, he replied calmly, show me the evidence first. It's a pity that Captain Tang is not on my side. I don't belong to any side. My duty is to investigate the case. Tang Yan was very confident, and his words were ruthless. The pressure he gave people was different from Xing Xiao. His ruthlessness was that he would fight to the death with you. In order to solve the case, he would do whatever it took. He would not give you any breathing space. At the same time, he would not tolerate any criminal acts. If Tang Yan and Xing Xiao were friends, such a combination would be really scary. Late at night, Xing Xiao went to the police station to pick Mu Qiqi up. The moment he saw her, he hugged her and asked, "Don't you have anything to say to me?" Mu Qiqi thought for a while and looked at Xing Xiao's eyes. She knew that this man must have known something. I was hit by a flower pot, but I didn't get hit. What did I teach you? Of course, I won't let this happen. But, Xiao Xiao, my current identity doesn't allow me to do things like an eye for an eye. But, it doesn't mean that I won't remember this. I will always find a chance. I've already avenged you. Xing Xiao pushed Mu Qiqi's head. Why would I wait for you to find a chance? Have you met Yi Jingqing? Your captain called me personally. I have to do him a favor, explained Xing Xiao. You mean, Tang Yan? Why does he have your number? It's easy for him to investigate. Xing Xiao hugged her and leaned against the cushion. This person seems quite interesting. Are you interested? Mu Qiqi asked. He can also play a part in protecting you. Tang Yan and Xing Xiao's meeting was a story for another time. But, with this pleasant cooperation, he believed that they would get to know each other better in the future. Chapter 6:11. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao seriously. You've gone to look for Mu Tongxue, haven't you? She's missing. There's no news yet, Xing Xiao answered. It's New Year's Eve in 2 days. Come home early these few days. Mu Qiqi nodded when she remembered that she had to attend the state banquet on New Year's Eve. I remember. Still, the wedding ring was still in her arms. Why did she feel that it was so difficult to give it away? In fact, Xing Xiao was also waiting. How long would this little one hide the ring? Mu Qiqi thought that it was better to plan it as soon as possible. So, when Xing Xiao went to the study to deal with some matters, Mu Qiqi called Lu Qianqian. Lu Qianqian was definitely better than Feng Shanshan when it came to such matters. Wow, my busy man, I haven't seen you since your birthday. It's been almost a month, and I haven't given you the birthday present I prepared for you yet, Lu Qianqian said on the other end of the phone. Qianqian, I have something to ask you. All right. Go ahead. Lu Qianqian smiled as she sat in front of her dressing table. I want to give Xiao Xiao something formal. Can you help me think of a way? After hearing Mu Qiqi's request for help, Lu Qianqian couldn't help but laugh. With your man's character, you just need to take the things out. Even if he says he doesn't like it, he will be very happy in his heart. It's different this time. It's our wedding ring, Mu Qiqi said. I've never done anything to coax him. I want him to be happy too. Isn't that simple? You just have to follow your heart, right? Think about it. You've been together for more than 2 years. Have you forgotten how it felt when you first liked him? How can you show your sincerity by asking me? She had been spoiled rotten by Xing Xiao over the last 2 years. She was used to being loved. She could not even remember what she had done for Xing Xiao over the last 2 years. Am I not good enough? All right. I know you want to show your heart to your Xing CEO. Think of a way. Let's have a meal together when we have time. I haven't eaten with you for a long time. Where's your Lin movin'? I went to the competition. Lu Qianqian sighed. So, I'm lonely now. After chatting a little more with Lu Qianqian, Mu Qiqi hung up. How could she forget how she felt when she had a crush on Xingxiao? At that time, in the small villa, she looked forward to seeing this man every day. When she heard the sound of a car downstairs, she couldn't help but get up and go downstairs to confirm it. At that time, she was very careful. She didn't want anyone to find out, but at the same time, she hoped that he would give her a response. Even now, that feeling still made one's heart itch. So, how could she not be surprised? At that thought, Mu Qiqi felt relieved. She put down her phone and went to Xingxiao's study. Xingxiao looked up and saw Mu Qiqi entering the room. He waved at her. Come here, what happened? I picked out a dress for you. I can't be too rude at the state banquet. Xingxiao hugged her and placed her on his thighs. That kind of occasion was not an occasion to compete in fashion, but one that suited his status. The white embroidered dress is better. There are some dark green embellishments on it. It can also match your suit. Mu Qiqi replied, wrapping her arms around Xingxiao's neck. Xingxiao looked at the computer screen as if he was telling the designer to adjust the size. It was then that Mu Qiqi looked at Xingxiao's side profile almost obsessively. You like my side profile that much? It's not like. It's love, Mu Qiqi replied. Xingxiao smiled and turned Mu Qiqi around so that she straddled him. Then, he said in a low and hoarse voice, unbuckle my belt. And then? Mu Qiqi asked. And then? Xingxiao lifted her pajamas and took off her belt. Then, he pulled her closer to him. The tight union caused the two of them to sigh deeply. That kind of satisfaction was enough to drive them crazy. You're so bad. Mu Qiqi's body was covered in sweat. But at that moment, Xingxiao suddenly held Mu Qiqi's round waist and they were still tightly joined together. I'll let you know what's worse. When would this little thing be willing to take out the ring? Of course, the longer Mu Qiqi thought about it, the more it proved that she valued it. Late at night, Tang Yan got off work and returned home. Feng Shanshan had just finished cooking dinner. She was still wearing a naughty apron. Have some supper. That way, the injuries on your body will heal faster. Tang Yan put down the key and took off his black windbreaker. Then, he sat down at the dining table obediently. Feng Shanshan was satisfied. Then, she brought the supper over. Eat. Tang Yan did not say anything. He finished the supper that Feng Shanshan had prepared. After that, he got up from the chair. Shower? Yes. Do you need my help? Feng Shanshan untied the apron and asked. Yes, Tang Yan said. Feng Shanshan secretly curled her lips. After cleaning up the dishes, she followed Tang Yan into the bathroom. This man was so seriously injured, but he was still alive and kicking outside. If it were another man, he would definitely be in bed for half a month. So, the first thing she did when she entered the bathroom was to clean Tang Yan's wounds. His muscles were really tight. Tang Yan closed his eyes. He felt itchy on his shoulder because Feng Shanshan's hand was very light. Actually, you can use more force, Tang Yan said. He could not stand it anymore. So, you called Xingxiao about Yi Jingqing. When did it happen? Feng Shanshan used more force and asked. Before you came in at noon, Tang Yan answered. I didn't expect that you could ask Xingxiao for help. This could be considered as an eye-opener for Feng Shanshan. Therefore, she felt that this man might be more complicated than she had imagined. After bandaging the wound, Feng Shanshan walked in front of Tang Yan and helped him wipe his body. Perhaps this man was afraid that she would feel awkward, so he closed his eyes and pretended to be resting. His body was really perfect. Feng Shanshan felt that there was nothing she was unwilling to do for such a body. However, their relationship was still very strange. Feng Shanshan did not feel that there was any difference between her and his wife. After the shower, Tang Yan leaned on the sofa and slept. But at this time, the property management came knocking on the door. Usually, it was a man who opened the door. Today, it was a woman. She said, "You must be Mr. Tang's girlfriend." "Hello, someone sent something to the property management. We are here to deliver it to you." Feng Shanshan was too lazy to explain, so she took the thing. "Thank you." Chapter 6:12. It's for you. Feng Shanshan walked to him and put it on the coffee table. "Open it," Tang Yan said with his eyes closed. Feng Shanshan thought that Tang Yan was a serious man. But when she opened the box, she realized how naive she was. It was full of Mr. Du. How flirtatious was this man? Since he bought so many of them, did it mean that he planned to live happily with her for a long time? Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan quietly brought the box to the bedroom. Then, she took out all the boxes of Mr. Du and put them neatly in the drawer. Feng Shanshan thought that he was obedient. Otherwise, with his workaholic character, he would still be investigating Qing Yunfeng's case in the staff dormitory. She wondered what the expressions of the police officers would be like if they knew that their serious and scary Captain Tang was being suppressed by a little girl. Late at night, it was snowing all over Jianchuan. Yi Jingqing carried his briefcase home. Unexpectedly, Papa Yi was waiting for him in the living room. "Father, what did Xing Xiao tell you when he came today?" Papa Yi tilted his head and took off the glasses on the bridge of his nose. "He heard that Mu Qiqi and I are old friends, so he came to have a look," Yi Jingqing explained. "Is it that simple?" Papa Yi did not believe it. "You and Mu Tongxue were close when we were young. You bullied Mu Qiqi for her many times. I know that. Now that Mu Tongxue has lost her reputation because of Mu Qiqi, are you willing to give up on her?" Indeed, no one knew his son better than his father. "It's been so long since Mu Tongshua's matter. Can't you just give up? When you were studying abroad, I was afraid that you would be distracted, so I didn't tell you about what happened to the Mu family. In the end, you got yourself into a dead end. Can't you just let bygones be bygones?" "Father, I know what I'm doing," Yi Jingqing said with a smile. Papa Yi took a deep breath and said helplessly, "I'm afraid that you are no match for Xing Xiao." Yi Jingqing did not say anything and went back to his room. But when he sat on the bed and looked at the photo of him and Mu Tongxue, he did not feel good. Even if Mu Tongxue had made a grave mistake, he would forgive her because he had always liked that flamboyant little girl. They were both twin sisters. But why did Mu Qiqi get to live the best life while his Tongxue had to suffer? Even now, there was no way to determine whether she was dead or alive. This isn't fair, therefore, even if he had to give it his all, even if he had to sacrifice his life, he had to get justice for the girl he loved. The next day, Yi Group's employee screening had preliminary results. Among them, there were 3 men who met the conditions of criminal suspects. However, these 3 suspects either had nothing to do with Qing Yunfeng or had an alibi. The case seemed to have fallen into a mystery once again. Captain Tang, the clue is broken again. Tang Yan turned around and looked at Yi Jingqing. For a moment, he felt Yi Jingqing's lips curl up. "President Yi doesn't seem to want us to find out the truth." "What are you talking about?" With Captain Tang's ability, it's only a matter of time before we find the real culprit. I have no doubt about that. It's just that in this situation, if you need any other assistance, not at the moment. I'll look for you if I need anything, Tang Yen said with his arms crossed. Then, they returned to the police station. They wanted to go through the case again to see if there was anything they had overlooked. At this time, Tang Yen asked Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan to join the discussion. After all, these two were not only talented in forensics, but they were also good at discovering details. The staff dormitory of Yi Group is not open to the public. On the contrary, they are quite strict with the staff. In other words, it's almost impossible to sneak into the dormitory because they have a strict registration system. The surveillance cameras did not find any outsiders entering the dormitory. But the analysts did not find any suspects among the staff of Yi Group. So, I want to hear your opinion. After hearing Tang Yan's words, Mu Qiqi looked at the projector behind him. Have you noticed this person? Everyone turned to look at the person Mu Qiqi was pointing at. In the projector, the man was tall and was wearing a security guard's uniform. He was closing the door of the dormitory. Tang Yan immediately realized that there was no such person in the staff information given to him by Yi Group. In other words, they had missed something. So, Tang Yan immediately said to the information analyst, "Get this person's information now." "Okay, Captain Tang." After giving the order, Tang Yan looked at Mu Qiqi and said, "The young master of the Yi family doesn't seem to want us to solve the case." "I'm sorry, Captain Tang. I implicated the police because of our personal grudges. But you still found out." With that, Tang Yan led the team out again. Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Qiqi and shrugged. "Now, CEO Yi won't have a chance to cause you trouble. He must be very sad." Mu Qiqi snorted coldly. People who want revenge can create opportunities even if they don't have a chance. Then, you have to be careful. Yi Jingqing did want to hide it from the police. Yi Group did not only have official staff, but also new staff and temporary staff. But he did not expect the police to investigate so quickly. And they had learned that the guard had a quarrel with Qing Yunfeng before. In addition, he could not explain his whereabouts on the night of the incident. So, the police brought him back to the police station for interrogation. But before leaving, Tang Yan looked at Yi Jingqing and said, "It seems that CEO Yi likes to play hide-and-seek with the police." "Captain Tang, you must be joking." "How can I?" "Do you know who found this person?" Mu Qiqi. Tang Yan looked at Yi Jingqing. "Don't underestimate her ability. Isn't it good that the police can solve the case? Yi Group can also recover as soon as possible." Tang Yan looked at Yi Jingqing deeply. "Recover as before?" "I'm afraid not." Yi Jingqing knew very well that he came back to China to stir up trouble. He would appear wherever there was a chance to get Mu Qiqi and Xing Shao. "I hope that Yi Group can cooperate and make a statement. Sorry to bother you." Having said that, Tang Yan left with the team. Yi Jingqing watched Tang Yan leave with his men. His eyes flashed. This was just the beginning. After the man was arrested, the interrogation soon came to a conclusion. "I didn't expect that the reason for killing could be so simple. Because Qing Yunfeng worked very hard, it was always late at night when he returned to the dormitory. But this man was too lazy to open the door for Qing Yunfeng, so he asked for a reward." Chapter 613. If that old couple knew that their son was thrown off the rooftop because of this, they would definitely be devastated. Feng Shanshan sighed. This is the most pitiful part. But no matter what, the criminal is finally arrested, Mu Qiqi said with her arms crossed. "How did you notice the guard?" I also looked through their employee information, but I didn't see this person's photo, Muchichi replied. Feng Shanshan gave Muchichi a thumbs up. At the same time, she received a message from Tang Yen. Let's go see that old couple in the afternoon. Just us two. You still want someone else? Feng Shanshan did not reply because she realized that this man seemed to be deliberately training her. He would bring her to many occasions in private. You can eat with the professor later. I have to go out for a while. Feng Shanshan put away her phone and said to Muchichi. In fact, Muchichi didn't have to think to know who she was going out with. Be careful that you don't go overboard and let the people in the police station see through you. Feng Shanshan shrugged. Anyway, she could find 1,000 reasons to explain the two of them going out together. What was there to be afraid of? In fact, Muchichi had somewhere to go in the afternoon. She had not been to the small villa for a long time, and she had not seen her aunt for a long time. It was a good time to take advantage of the fact that there were no cases in the police station. After lunch, Muchichi arrived at the little mansion. Knowing that she was coming, Suzy Pei coaxed the child to sleep and prepared cakes for her in the living room. Holiday already. I'll go check on the baby first. Muchichi lay beside the crib and looked at the little one sleeping soundly with satisfaction. Aunt, is he easy to take care of? It's easy. She rarely cries, just like you when you were young, Suzy Pei replied with a smile. Her whole body exuded the softness and radiance of a mother. Aunt, do you still remember Yi Jingqing? Suzy Pei was stunned when she heard the name. I have an impression of him. He was not good to you. He has returned from abroad and is looking for Mu Tangxue everywhere. Now, he is blaming me for her disappearance. But don't worry, I know how to handle it. Hearing this, Suzy Pei's face turned cold. He still dares to cause trouble for you. How many times did he help Mu Tangxue bully you? Aunt, that's all in the past. Does young Master Xing know? He asked me, and I told him. Muchichi held Suzy Pei's arm. The two of them were as close as mother and daughter. So, I'm just telling you. What if that person wants to harm the people around me? Don't worry. I rarely go out now. Your uncle will know how to protect me. Suzy Pei patted Muchichi's hand. Aunt, is my room still there? Of course he's here. Did you forget what I said? Your room will always be there. I will keep it for you. Actually, I want to do something, and I need your help, Aunt. Muchichi's eyes were clear as she whispered into Suzy Pei's ear. In fact, it was her plan to give the ring away. Suzy Pei nodded and said, This is your wish and your happiness. Of course, I will cooperate with you. This was her first home after her rebirth, and the place where their relationship began. As the starting point, of course, she hoped that the ring would be given away here. Of course, Xing Xiao really did not know all this at the moment. After all, Muchichi was on vacation. He could not keep an eye on her at all times. Then, when do you want young Master Xing to come? Tonight. Muchichi smiled mysteriously. After dinner, it seemed to be a good time to exercise and digest the food. Feng Shanshan followed behind Tang Yen. The two of them drove to the old couple's house and bought a lot of things. In a small house, there was an old couple. All their hopes had been placed on Qing Yunfeng. But now, this hope had been completely shattered. Seeing Tang Yen, the old woman covered her face and cried. I thought Officer Tang was joking. I didn't expect you to really bring your wife here. Is this little girl really your girlfriend? I've seen her before. She's also a police officer. She's not a police officer. She's a forensic doctor. Tang Yan explained and moved all the things he bought to the old couple's house. You've worked hard because of Yunfeng. Although we can't accept it for a while, we still have to live. Shanshan, there's a small box in the car. Go and carry it over. Feng Shanshan thought of Tang Yan's injured shoulder. She nodded and carried the box over. Open it. Feng Shanshan squatted down and saw a gray puppy sleeping in it. She reached out and carried the little thing out and handed it to Tang Yan. Tang Yan handed the dog to the old woman. Godmother, this dog is docile and easy to raise. It can also help you guard the house. Most importantly, it's loyal and can accompany you and Godfather at any time. When the old woman saw a fresh life in her arms, tears flowed out. You're so considerate, Officer Tang. I'll send someone to deliver the dog food and other things regularly. You don't have to worry. Seeing this, Feng Shanshan's eyes suddenly turned red. This was probably the so-called smoke and fire in the world. She did not expect Tang Yan to have such a soft heart. After visiting the two elders, the two of them returned to the police station. At this time, Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yan's side profile and said, "You can really understand their inner world. Giving them a puppy can also temporarily distract them. These are just some trivial things. What they need is a kind of hope and strength to persist in living." Tang Yan answered while driving. Do you have this kind of moment? A strong feeling that you can't live on? Yes, Tang Yan replied directly. You also had it. Tang Yan was silent and did not continue to answer Feng Shanshan's question. He felt that it was better not to let Feng Shanshan know some things for the time being. More importantly, he had not completely controlled her yet, so he had to keep it a secret for the time being. Feng Shanshan glared at him and only scolded, "Stingy. Then I won't go out with you in the future." "Whatever you want," Tang Yan said indifferently. But because of his indifferent attitude, Feng Shanshan was angry. "I really can't understand you. I can't be too far away from you, nor can I be too close to you. I can't be good to you, nor can I be bad to you. What exactly do you want?" After hearing Feng Shanshan's complaint, Tang Yan finally chuckled. Her summary was quite on point, so he also concluded. Anyone with a soul is not easy to chase. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.